What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Let me go ahead and turn this down a little bit. All right. Sounds good. I hope you liked our little pre-show. One of the best parts about just doing all this stuff off a whim is that you get to test and try new stuff as you want to. You know, you get to have an idea pop into your head and just go with it. So I was like, you know what? Well, and also it helped that I was, I just had to get the crisp on the bacon. It took a little longer than I thought it would. Y'all ever do that thing where you look at the clock? You're like, fuck, I got time for whatever it is. Some people trying to take a shit. Some people trying to smoke. Some people trying to fuck before they go do stuff. But you always, I got time. And then I didn't. No, I mean that's the long story short. But while I ate my breakfast, y'all kind of engaged with me. Shout out to Cliff there. Hey, bud. We get to get a little exciting in chat. It's fun that we're all flirting so soon. The very first few lines in the chat are just us being all spicy. Rad popping in, chicken popping in. I'm glad that I'm not the only person who likes over hard eggs. That's a big deal for me. You grow up in a world of advertisements where sunny side is the way to go. But there's some unknown secrets to eggs. Morning, Torgoth. Good to see you. How's everybody feeling this morning? Everybody got their coffee? Everybody got their tea? Their water? Their pre-workout if you're one of those? You guys will see Hanzo zooming around here probably pretty soon. Yeah, he's been playing with that thing quite a bit. I was editing last week's episode, and if y'all watch the beginning of that, you can see as I'm doing the intro, Hanzo's playing with this toy. I was like, wow, that's cute. I didn't even notice that while I was streaming. Oh my god, thank you, camera. I forgot all about this. Hey, beautiful. Nice big delicious glass. Orange juice. Y'all trying to watch me drink? That's too much pressure. Go. All right. Just woke up, Torgoth, just in time for the show. Chicken with the iced coffee. Y'all think that it's just a people who live in cold weather states thing where we like to drink cold drinks on winter mornings? Because I love it. I love it so much. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it calls for some hot coffee or tea or whatever, but or ice cream. I like ice cream in the winter. Fucking nuts. You know what we should do? While we're thinking about it, why don't we go ahead and add a topic to the stream? We'll do... We're going to do some text input here. We're going to put in topic in all caps because... Okay. Love. Romantic and otherwise. Whoa, look at all those words. They're huge. Oh, no. Oh. Make you smaller and smaller. Where are we going to see that? That would, light bulb. All right. Y'all want to see the thing I was talking about where we can, I'll show you guys how to edit the thing in OBS. We're gonna do a little bit of detour from the topic here so I can show you all what I was talking about. So I want this to be, oh fuck, what did I want? Oh. So this scene, I like it, but this, I want to do something different for the stream for a solo cam, while we wait for our guests to show up or where we'll talk in solo or whatever the case may be. Or if we're just blabbing for a bit, maybe shooting be a good one. We don't have to have the whole thing down here. So, but I like having this thing. We can make it huge and fill the screen so we can make a good encapsulation box for the fucking topic thing. But I like the scene that we have, so we're gonna duplicate it. because I don't want to, just change that one. So we're going to do show solo full screen talk show. That way we know which one's which. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to delete that scene. Yep, I do. And that one. And that one. We're going to make this bad boy. We're going to take it over here and we're going to go pow. We're going to make it nice and huge. Wait. Oh, I bet you we can get something going on like this. Watch. Nope. Not the face. Not the face. We're going to put that there. And then we're going to move this like this. Topic. How do I want that? Or we could just do... That doesn't look bad. We're going to keep it like that. Fuck yeah. Check us out. Look how fast that was. I can give you my credentials for Final Cut Pro. Okay, first of all, you have to be careful where you're admitting to software sharing, all right? You have to read your EULAs, man. You have to read your EULAs. We'll check the rules, and if that's something that we can do, then we'll go ahead and do it. Oh, I wish I had my zoom in screen so I can go. Ice cream in my nose. There's ice cream in my nose? I wasn't eating any ice cream. It's fucking cold in here. I need to get a hat. Where's my hat? You know, where you're cooking, you're getting all sweaty and warm. You know, you don't have to wear like gloves and hats. You know, I normally get warm when I'm cooking, and I'm a not wear a shirt around the house kind of guy. And you know, I have oftentimes learned the hard lesson of cooking bacon with your shirt off. But it's so hard, I don't want to wear a shirt. I think that like an undershirt or a thin t-shirt is a happy medium there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some topics. Let me check my notes. We got those right there. Okay, so we're gonna get a notepad up so we can all right, cat. Skateboarding little bastard. Scared the shit out of me. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and then some notes. So we're gonna jump into it. Let me get some full screen things going. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna move my OBS. You're not gonna be able to see that anymore, but we're done with it. So we're gonna do a screen capture. So I have some notes here. Oops. So the point of this week's show, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down a little bit. We should do an intro for YouTube. You guys get to be around for the live stuff, so you get to see the us creating the cuts and whatever. Let's catch up on chat before we do that. I still have a hat here for you. Ooh, I forgot about the hat. Yes, I need to come pick that up soon. What are you trying to say, Hero? I'm a shooty cap. Shooty. Are we talking about hats still? An apron? I have an apron. It's on the fridge. Y'all probably can't. Oh, you can see up there just ever so slightly. Nice little black and white. Do we need to make you an apron? Yo, I would wear an apron. Like, especially if it had the stream logo, it would be great for. That would give me a huge incentive to like put more thought power into making a cooking stream. Because I already the island is perfect. I could just pull over the webcam, stack up a bunch of books or something. You know, I should buy a tripod like an adult. But that's no fun. I got like a knife block and some duct tape. I don't need to spend the extra money. I can set up a camera in front of the stove. You can set up a camera over the food making stuff. Excuse me. Ooh. Woo. I don't know if any of y'all also had your morning smokes. Your Sunday morning smoky smokes. But mine is kicking my ass. Who you guys guess today? Today as a guest, we will be having Bad Wolf Handmade. She'll be joining us when she can. That's one of the best things about our show here today is that it's kind of like a drop in, drop out format for the guest who wants to talk about the stuff. And not everybody has the same time in the morning available that we do. So we're going to kind of just chat about love, talk about love amongst ourselves. And when our guest is ready, they'll let us know. And we'll get them in here and start talking about getting their opinions. And, we can catch them up on what we talked about, too. Give them some links and no worries there. Sweaty hat? Where are you? Oh, fucking autocorrect, right? So love. Love, love, love. I thought about saving this episode for February, for obvious reasons. For those of you who aren't in the States, is Valentine's Day a national holiday? Our very first important search of the day is Valentine's Day a national holiday? Oh shit. Fuck. Enter. Spelling is hard. Oh, are you sure, hero? I need to get a screen zoom all around the world. Oh yeah, but that never really happens for Valentine's Day here either, right? It's more of just like as a whole. Oh, here's a question. So in regards to Valentine's Day, capitalism really got their grasp on that, as we know, right? Like that's a well documented fact all over the internet. If you do research, like Valentine's Day is a scam to get us to spend money with our hearts, as if we don't already. Those fools. Every time I buy something for the kids here, the animals, I do it with my heart. But yeah, no, I was gonna do this in February, the month of love, but I thought, fuck it, let's do it during the second most popular season of love, the Christmas season, the holiday season. I've recently learned that the hip folks call it cuffing season. That's gonna be, I'm gonna be y'all's liaison into what the cool people are saying, because apparently, if y'all knew that already, then you're in the cool kid crowd, and I'm not. Apparently. So everybody's trying to find a boo. Everybody's trying to find somebody to snuggle with. Everyone's trying to find somebody to get through this pandemic with. And it's quite a, not to be cliche, but strange journey. How are y'all doing with love this Christmas season? Those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, do you feel the spark of love for the holidays? The spark of love. We can talk about that for fucking ages, right? How are y'all doing? Are y'all feeling a little cabin fevery with your loved ones? Doing good? That's good, hero. That's good to hear. Everybody feeling okay with the love? When the topic today is going to be more about than just like romantic love, right? I know some folks have kids, some folks have pets. How you feeling being locked inside with these folks? And it's cold too, at least we're not missing out on gorgeous, beautiful weather, At least, that's not really so true, because it's Colorado. We do have those warm-ish, but beautiful days in the winter. Like today, it's fucking sky blue outside, but it's like, 50 degrees? Phone, give me information. Let's find out. How many degrees is it here? 30, 39. 39 degrees outside. Pretty good, young and engaged. Yeah, y'all are. I'm fucking pumped about that. That's going to be so fucking fun. Imagine how much fun we've had at other people's weddings. We're going to we're going to party. Obviously. And it's going to be fun when we get to do that again. Speaking of love, on an outside of romantic scale, like think about the love between friends. It's been a tough year for that, for a variety of reasons, but big glaring ones are obvious. It's hard to keep in touch with the friends and the family. That's kind of what part of the reason why we started doing this, the talk show, because it's nice to tell everybody, hey, here's where I'll be this time every week, and if you want to come hang out, come hang out. If you have something you want to talk about, because y'all know me, most of the folks who are in the chat know me in real life, right? And for those of you who don't, I'm pretty rambly. Like, the Twitch stream is more of like a, hey, you should probably, I don't know. If you're gonna just talk while you're doing things, you create something. Use it as a creative outlet, which streaming has done a great job at. Y'all saw earlier, you learn a lot about the video capture software and such. But we're also going to talk about that today. Loving what you do. Oh, did I not put that on here? Oh, where's the notes? Come here, notes. Oh, those are give you guys just a little fucking sizzle. And don't worry, these are all working titles. We should probably put that in there if we're going to put that on stream, so nobody's like, oh my god, Bo, you're a monster. Yeah, I know, but that's why we have to edit these, so we're going to do it right now. Working titles. Boom. So that's what we got going on. Talking about, and it wasn't on there, but we're going to talk about loving what you do. It's other kinds of love. How many of y'all doing what you love what you do? Do y'all think it's true that if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life? Well, now that we're talking about it, that's such a topic. That's such a topic that we throw around so quickly with a lot of things. Love. Y'all know folks? I know some folks who use that word a lot. And you kind of know that person when they're like, I love potatoes and I love carrots and I love that person I met at the grocery store. And I love that. Oh my god, I love that little grasshopper picture that you put on Instagram. You're like, interesting. So when you say you love me, where's the scale here? What's the relative? Is there a relative love scale? I think my love for my friends has grown a lot. Oh, me too. If not even more, right? I find that I've connected even more with my friends this way than I have, when in-person stuff was available. But it has taught me a newfound appreciation for that. A lot of times I didn't prioritize hanging out with friends and stuff. Sometimes the self-care days that I took were a lot, which is another kind of love we'll be talking about today. Self-love. What do you have to do to take care of yourself? But yeah, mine too, hero. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I feel that, hero, for sure. I also really have refined my definition of love over the last year. Yeah, you wanna share more about that, hero? And I agree here that with iron, Cliff. I agree with Cliff that growth is absolutely worth celebration. That's awesome. Exceptionally happy my 50-year-old son is still, I love you. Oh, that is awesome. Well, and that's a testament to how strong y'all's relationship is. It's also a testament to how good of a dad you are. I'm going to just jazz you up here for a little bit. Because, at that age, it's really easy to blame the conflicted feelings inside of you on your parents. And sometimes it's even the parents' fault. So in situations where kids are still going through that stuff and gaining their conscious thoughts or whatever and still love their parents, it's a good testament to how good a parent you are. I mean, relatively speaking. And at least as far as the bond between y'all goes. Unique, good to see you. I caught you stream the other night, your anniversary stream. It's awesome that you write the names of subs. Is it subs? On a shirt? That's fucking cool. That is fucking cool. Man, those... we could also talk about that. Hold on. Why are we writing this down? Self-love. We just talked about... Oh, man, Notepad Plus. Giving us the tab options. Love for hobbies. For those of you who don't know, Unique here, gonna jazz you up a little bit. I like to do this with the people in chat that I know, if we get a good opportunity, if it comes up in the convo. Unique also streams on Twitch. And they're very good at streaming old games that hit me right in the face, dead center in the face with nostalgia. Every time I jump on there, I'm like, wow, you're playing fucking Oblivion right now? Like, that's where I discovered, like, Elder Scrolls, you can sneak around and shoot people with a bow. And there's a Thieves Guild. Like, I saw you using that dagger on there. You know, the one that sometimes, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's sometimes when you stab people with it, they have a chance to just fall over dead. Is that the one I'm thinking of? Anyway, check out Unique sometime. Good stream. Good stream. Good stream. Entertaining. Fun. Thoughtful. We got to get you on the show sometime. That'd be fun. Hero says, my redefining idea of love has been really adding different levels. Love for friends, love for what I can do. Oh, nice. Well, this is going to be the perfect episode for you because that's a rich and a vast library of knowledge that I'm hoping you're willing to talk about with us. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Good call here. Well, and it's I think distance makes that a little bit easier sometimes too, because we have excuses to not see the people that we don't like. And then you realize, wow, with that person not around or me not being around that person, like, I'll be fine. And then you realize, hey, maybe I'll just tell that person, hey, we're good. See you later. I'm going to go follow. Yeah, good call. Thanks, dude. We're headed over there. It's good content. It's wholesome content. Very nice. Very nice, very fun, very warm. And talk about someone who loves what they do, the video games and the passion for education. That's cool. And that's kind of goes back to what we're talking about. Love for hobbies. Love for what, careers? Fucking passions? I don't know. That's such a fun word to say and appropriate for the topic of love. Passions. Is that like I'm not going to Google it for obvious reasons, but that's like I almost did too. I was like, I'm going to alt tab and Google it. And I was like, my internet broadcasty brain was like, probably not a good idea to do on live internet television. But isn't that like a chain of sex stores? Passions? It sounds, and if it's not, it should be. You're welcome out there. Any inspired sex store entrepreneurs. You can have that one for free. If you want to send me a little coupon in the mail every now and then. Cool. Awesome. Ooh, good idea. Let's define the difference between love and passion. Wonderful idea, Torgoth. Define love. I'm going to do define passion. Passion. Extra S. Passion. All right, love first. This says an intense feeling of deep affection. Okay. A great interest and pleasure in something. That leaves it vague for us, doesn't it? We use it as a verb. Feel deep attraction for. Inspiring elaboration. Like or enjoy very much. Okay. Well, shit. So I think, as we were talking about earlier, I think folks who say they love this and they love that and they use the word sparingly or freely, maybe they're onto something here. Maybe other people are overthinking the definition of love. Let's define passion. Strong and barely controllable emotion. I don't know about y'all, but that feels way more like love. Does it not? Holy fuck. Look at, what a buzzkill. Can y'all look at, oh my God. Let's go ahead and look at definition number 2. The suffering and death of Jesus. Talk about a boner killer. This is going to get me canceled by the Pope. Although, I will say, that's probably a kink, right? Y'all think that's a kink? So I guess I shouldn't kink shame. I retract. And literally with the zoom too. That's wordplay. But oops. See, we need to get a button. We need to get a button. Unique, do you have a stream deck? I need to get a button for sound effects. But what the fuck is a stigmata? Stigmata. That's a fun word to say. Oh, Jesus. Am I? Oh, in Christian tradition. We're still, what is this a coincidence? Not yet. Are you thinking about getting one? I'm thinking about getting one. I keep having ideas for all these sound clips in my head. Like the badum-tis, for example. Okay, well, yet again, our Google searches will leave new viewers to the page confounded. Is that the right word? We're going to Google that in a second. In the meantime, we should put this up. Ow! I'm just going to zoom you in. That's helpful, isn't it? I realized as I was watching the highlight on Twitch, because it shows you chat and stuff too, which is cool. I wish that you... fuck. Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of on the stream underneath, huh? That was why I put that there. Thinking ahead. I was watching the stream back with chat, and one thing that a lot of folks asked was, what are we talking about? What's the topic? And I thought to myself, next week you should put that on the screen. Unique uses voice attack for a couple of them. Oh, nice. That's smart. I'm gonna look into that. Thank you. Let's see, Hero. Oh, that's true. So, Hero, let's elaborate on that a little bit, if you don't mind. Like, you mentioned that was kind of a growing up at the time I grew up in. Is that like a reference to generational kind of thing? I mean, and is there, would y'all say, more accurately, you, and for yours, would you say that that's something that runs rampant just based on kind of the context clues of Gen X, as you're saying, that it's not common? Like, well, because correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a time where love and gentleness and all of that kind of stuff was often loosely associated with, like, weakness, right? And showing your emotions and talking about it was certainly not a masculine thing to do, and there were pretty clear cut and I guess generationally important lines between that divide, as part of like y'all's parents, right? I know that it's been far too long before a lot of changes in humanity have happened, but like relatively speaking, they've happened pretty quick over the last, I don't know, half a century. And obviously that's due to the hard work of a lot of people, but that's still pretty cool. Like if you look at it in relative of terms, it's probably like a fucking curve in terms of human rights. Y'all think about it, like y'all spend time thinking about what the human rights thing was like in like the Middle Ages? Like, holy shit. Or you see, like, shows, sword fighting shows, dragon shows, Game of Thrones. And you're like, shit. Man, people got treated like shit. We have Starbucks. I mean, I know late stage capitalism has its own problems. But yeah, no, the world has changed a lot in such a short amount of time. Which, to bring it back to Hero's point here, it's cool that you're actively working against a lot of the stuff you had to work about. Chicken says, as much as they're buzzwords, you have to know a person's love language. Some people throw around, I love this and that. Some people never say it and make it a point to tell people. By me, yeah, that's true. Or some people are like acts of service people. Or some folks are like, you know, send you, like you said, send you memes, send you a little haste to let them know that you're thinking about them. And yeah, that's a very good point in that there's a lot of different ways to show you love. Well, and that pairs well with what Hero is saying is that we have to. We're a lot of folks are making intentional efforts to show that they love their friends and their family and their loved ones that live in the home with them, kids, spouses, the pets. Let's see here. All right, auto moderator. Thank you for your discretion. Hero, my auto moderator held your message because you said the word gay. And I imagine it's because they're trying to avoid people being douchebags. But alas, saying I love you was a show of weakness. Yeah, it was a toxic time. Yeah. I grew up in an environment that was very binary, one or the other. Yeah. Exactly. Well said. Also, it was a time that was very anti-gay love of any kind. That's true. Chicken hitting us with the love languages. What's y'all's love language? Chicken, what's your love language? Hero, what's your love language? Mine, y'all, I don't know. So they're broken down into two parts: how you receive love and how you show love. So mine, and I want to hear y'all's too. So I better hear the clickety clackety of those keyboards right now. I think I like to receive love in this order: physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts. And I think I show my love in, here we go, physical touch, acts of service, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, quality time. Sometimes I feel bad that quality time is the lowest on showing love. Because but my mind is all over the place at all the times. So catching me is kind of tough sometimes. Which is again another reason why we started the show. Hero shows love with acts of service and giving gifts. That I know, I believe, I'm personally grateful for myself. I think about you every time I make people go, check the tip. I don't have enough time in the day, right? Good God. Torgoth prefers axe. Torgoth prefers the axe. Once a humble farmer, now ruler of his own lands. Iron Fletcher receives love through words of affirmation, give stuff, I think. Oh no, he gives love through acts of service and words of can confirm. It's cool to have this conversation with folks that I know and love. To use topic. Oh my God, we should put another button on the stream deck. That every time we say a buzzword, we should Pee-wee's Playhouse that thing and make a lot of noise about it. Wait, did we cancel Pee-wee? Did he end up being a fucking creeper? How many? Oh man, what do y'all think? Somebody want to Google that? I don't want to Google that one on the internet TV. Yeah, Hero. Well, I know that words of affirmation are tough for you. And you shared a little bit about what that's about with Up Us With Above. But man, do I love saying nice things about you. You're a pretty incredible human, dude. Well, and once you figure out what that love language is, and they can change, we can talk about that in a second. You let me know, because I would love to show you I love you in those ways, even if it's physical touch. Mwah. After he was in jail, he still made another movie. Oh, yikes. Pee-wee got caught in an adult theater exposing himself. I don't know. Is that like it's an adult theater. So I'm kind of a little like, what did we... You're already kind of seeing dicks in there, right? Like, can we talk about the morality of charging somebody with exposing themselves in an adult? I mean, I get it. Like, nobody wants to see your junk unsolicited. But, like, jail time for it? Is he like a repeat offender? Because then, all right, bro, just wear pants. Chicken says, my partner and I don't have the same love language, so I have to keep reminding myself to show him how he prefers, not how I prefer. That's really sweet of you, though, right? That's just a testament of your love, how much y'all love each other. That's awesome that y'all work that out, though. You know, that's pretty cool. Red Heathen, welcome. Says, yeah, I can't remember mine anymore. I should retake it. Do it. That's important information to know. Not just for your romantic interest, but for your friends and family, too. Do it. Let us know what it says when you're done, too. Right now. Right now. You're already looking at your phone. You're already watching streams. You have the time, Red. Do it. Or don't. You're, your own person. Hero says, it was also late 80s, early 90s, and he was doing shows for kids. I mean, that's true. That's the time. Didn't we also, like, impeach a president for that? For a sex scandal? Wait, there's a test? Yeah. Fucking, are we going to Google it? We're going to Google it for you. Because there's 2 people interested now. Love language test. You know what? Why don't we take one? Well, we're going to take one on stream right now with y'all. Let me... This one seems like a little pay us, and we'll give you your results before I even open it, right? Dr. Gary Chapman. We're going to do the science of people because it has the word science in it. What could go wrong? It's clearly a opinion publication. Take the quiz. Oh, nice try. What do we got going on here? All right. Press enter. It's a slideshow. No, you can't. Nope, I'm out. They're like, we need to know more about you. And I'm like, no. All right, let's just do the big one that's on the fucking thing. Children's quiz, singles quiz, teens quiz, couples quiz. What do y'all want to do? Couples quiz? Y'all do whatever is appropriate to you. I'll do singles quiz here. How fucking hilarious the first few options were the best options. That's normally it's like advertising. Google, you had sleuths. I know I'm giving you all a little bit of information about me right now, but that's the test. 5lovelanguages.com. Wow, words are hard. I did not type that well. Oh, I should probably read up above, huh? I feel like while it wasn't the best choice for Pee-wee, I don't think him having a show for kids excludes him. Exactly. Thank you, Unique. Well said. But like Hero said, it was the 80s and 90s, right? This is a time where we canceled Bill Clinton for getting a blowjob. I get it was extramarital, but we don't know what they talked about. I mean, sure. Maybe, oh my God, y'all, what if, hot conspiracy, hot take. This is why we come to Sunday Tea. What if Bill Clinton and his wife were like, ooh, what if they just had an open relationship? But they were really good at it because in the 80s and 90s and he's the president. And what if they're like, man, I'm tired of you being president. And Bill's like, yeah, me too. She's like, how can we get you out of here without you going to prison? Bill says, I got an idea. And it worked. And he's still invited to dinner with past presidents. Think about it. He's not in prison. I wonder, oh my God, I wonder if Bill Clinton still gets the president's salary. You think? You imagine getting a blowjob on the desk of the Oval Office made from a ship? Still get, what, $400,000 a year and invited to dinner with Obama and George W.? Hey, when you think that when they have those dinners in the future, do you think that they're gonna have a high chair and a bib for DJ here? If I ever get a chance to meet Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton, Is that his wife? That would be fucking hilarious. That's his wife, right? I'm not crazy. I knew it. One is Hillary. Hillary's like pretty confident in who she is as a person. I think that they do seem like they would totally both be fine with that type of romantic situation. If I ever get a chance to meet Bill or Billary, as they'll from henceforth be known. Does henceforth mean what I think it does? Henceforth. I knew it. Yes. If I ever meet Billary, I'll ask him, hey, can y'all have goes? Oh my God, I don't know, but if Hillary Clinton did kill Jeffrey Epstein, I'm not sure I want to be alone in a room with her. She wouldn't kill me. Oh my God, but what if I said that out loud and it was true? Maybe. Okay, well, I'm 25 to 34. I'm in the United States. Have you read the? Nope, I haven't. It's more meaningful. Oh, okay, so we're gonna jump right into the quiz. We're just gonna change the topic. Skirt, skirt. Like there's a wall in the road. I don't know about y'all, but I'm nothing against the Secret Service. Bill seems like he'd always be down to party. Yeah, Bill's 100% one of those folks. Something about folks willing to be sexually explorative and the saxophone. I mean, they were so close in like letters. Sex. You know how many times I've heard people say sexy sax? So many times. This is a long ass quiz, is it? Holy shit. Well, you know, they want it to be thorough. I'm going to jump back into it. It's more meaningful to me when someone I love sends me a loving note, text, email for no special reason. I hug someone I love. Oof. That's hard. I like them both. They don't have a both option? All right. I hug. More meaningful to me when I can spend time alone with somebody. Just us. Someone I love does something practical to help me out. I like that one. I'll give you an example. I recently had a situation where I cooked and someone else did the dishes. Y'all ever been in a situation where you cook and someone else does the dishes? Let me tell you, that is a heaven situation. That's the only thing I don't. Then don't get me wrong, I don't even mind cleaning up. You know, I like things to be tidy, but it's just exhausting. There's a lot of time involved, and you know, stingy with the time. So this quiz is about to tell me. So someone did the dishes when I did the cooking, and that is. So what do you think here? So are we going to say that this quiz should not continue? Do you think that you don't feel properly heard? Maybe they repeat the same options. Do you mean like between the two? Maybe they want to see if you're consistent both times. Maybe that's their way of gauging whether or not you feel both. We have now found Boza killing multiple choice answers. Oh, that's true. That's so the decision to choose has always been super tough for me. Always been super tough for me. I'm not good at choosing things. I rush into it. One sec, y'all. But multiple choice things are not easy for me. At all. It's so hard for me to make choices. Never give me more than two options. Yeah, I will say that I am glad that they only do give me two options. Hero says, I'm thinking they repeat only one question and throw in a second option, maybe to see if you really mean it. Yeah, good. All right, someone I love puts their arm around me in public. Someone I love surprise. Oh, that's a hard one. All right, but I think that's so cute when they put their arm around me. I'm not around someone I love. Even it's more meaningful to me. Okay, the second one. Oh, fuck. Well, I don't know what the... Oh, wait, can I go back one? Oh, I can. Check it out. Does it keep my options? High five. Receive a gift. Hear from someone that they love me. Ooh, I love gifts. Sit close to someone. Complimented by someone. Oh, I do like the compliments. I get the chance to just hang out with somebody. I unexpectedly get small gifts. Ooh. Um, unexpected gifts. I hear someone tell me I'm proud of you. Someone I love helps me with the task. I get to do things. I hear supportive words. Do things. Does things. Hug. Oh, I gotta love the hug. Hear praise. We're gonna really short and word these, if it's especially if it's 70 questions. Gives me something. Shit, you're right about them, and they are just rewording questions. I'm able to be around somebody. I get a back rub. I love a back rub. Someone I love reacts positively. Someone I love does something. Ooh, does something. I'm able to be in close physical proximity. I sense someone I love showing interest in the things I care. Oh, that's pretty cool when people like go out of their way to learn things. Like that's really sweet. Someone I love works on special projects. Someone I love gives me an exciting gift. Oh, that's a hard one. Special projects. Complimented by someone, takes the time to listen. Oh, that's a really hard one, like to do. And like it's really cool when people take the time to do that. I could share a meaningful touch. Someone I love offers to run errands for me. Meaningful touch. Someone I love does something special, get a gift. Does something. Fuck, y'all. Maybe, okay. Someone I love doesn't check their phone. Someone I love goes out of the way. Okay, out of the two, I don't care if you check your phone. I look forward to a holiday. Get a gift. I hear the words. I appreciate you. That's a tough one. These are tough. It's a good thing it's not more than two, right? That would be. Someone I love haven't seen in a while takes enough. Someone I love takes care of something I'm responsible to do. Oh no, I couldn't ask somebody to do that. Someone I love haven't seen in a while thinks enough to give. Okay, a little gift. Between the two, the other one makes me uncomfortable. Gift giving is important, but I don't mind, like, especially if I'm talking to somebody, um, and like, if you can finish the thoughts of the person that you're talking to, sometimes you just bounce back and forth off each other. So the interrupting thing is, I get it sometimes. Gift giving, important part of the relationship. Out of the two, yeah, helps me out when they know I'm tired. I get to go somewhere special, spending time. That's a tough one. Helps me out. Someone I love touches my arm or shoulder. I like that one. Someone I love gives me a little gift between the two. Someone I love says something. Get to spend time in a shared activity. Says something. Surprises me with a small token. Touching someone I love. Okay. Hero says some of them are really tough. Also makes me realize I have a really hard time with physical touch. Noted. Good to know. Someone I love helps me out. I hear someone I love tell me they appreciate me. Affirmation on that one. We got a physical. Oh, we can. Oh, you know what? We can just sum these up for y'all. We got a physical one, but no, they're different. Like the questions are pretty specific. I get a hug from someone I haven't seen in a while. I hear someone I love tell me how much. Hug. Oh, finally! Holy shit! Good God! Is this what we said? I'm pretty sure this is what we said. This is the way that you receive love, right? This is a bit of a selfish little blog here. Is it supposed to be for both? Because that feels not like accurate. I guess I'm a receiving words of affirmation. Good to know. Now I feel bad, hero. I know I'm a hugger. Same chicken. Well, and I think that that's not to say that they might not enjoy those things from those folks, but definitely like if that's a person's last love language, I probably and I think generally speaking, I could do a better job at asking folks if they're huggers. You know, because I am a hugger. I also go in for hugs. Yours was physical touch too. Nice, nice, great minds. Great minds. The physical touch just does it for me, right? I love the hand holding and the snuggling, and the foot rubs on the couch and the back rubs, and the being cutesy in public and dancing around in the kitchen, and yeah, it's just fun shit. It does it for me. What did I'm glad that y'all are sharing your love languages with me. This is cool. Thank y'all for sharing that. Does this just me or does this not equal up to 100%? 40%. Then we got 34%. So it's 74%. This, holy shit. All right, now we need the calculator. We need to verify that my math doesn't suck. It might suck, because it does sometimes. Just be like that. 17. Oh, busted. Oh. Maybe it's probability and they're all relative to the total capacity in which you show love in regards to the time you have available. You have a hard time holding your hands? Well, yeah, see, I have a hard time holding the hands in public too. Like physical attention for me in public has to be very hit and go. Like birds hunt, right? Hit the ground, hit the water, get the fuck out. Cuz like I'm a fast walker and I'm a little bit claustrophobic, so I don't like to be like restricted while I'm walking. And sometimes, especially if I'm like really stoned or drunk, it's fun to like lean on each other while you hoorah down the fucking street. I totally do that. But like most of the time, I'm like, give me a hug, come touch my butt, give me a little smooch on the cheek, give me a little pat on the cheek. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I can't believe the fucking website was 101%. They thought we wouldn't catch them. They thought we wouldn't know. Busted. How's that for pattern recognition, SAT? Low score where? Fuck, man. Yours was 99%? Wait, what? Get out of here. You were not 99%. Are you shitting me? Were the other ones 1%? 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%? What did yours look like? 99% physical touch. Good God, unique. That'd be how the fuck? Yeah, I'm very much so a hit and go kind of physical touch person. 99. So does that mean that you like all physical affection all the time? You hold my hand while we're doing chores. You hold my hand while we're playing games. You hold my hand while we're shopping. We're snuggling while we're watching movies. We take all of our showers together. You better be brushing your teeth while I'm pooping. Like at all times. We snuggle while we sleep. Oh, your total was 99%. Oh, that makes way more sense. Also, I don't know why it's physical touch if you're pooping while somebody else is brushing their teeth. I'm not really sure where that translates. But we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. Well, cool. That would be quality time. Fair. Fair. Touching your nostril. Well, is that if that's your preferred way to receive love, I'm going to touch your nostril so hard, Poppy. This coffee mug brought to you by someone else's name on it. Doesn't matter whose name on it. It's a Yeti mug. And it holds a lot of coffee. The things you find. I saw that motherfucker and I was like, that's coming home with me. Fucking sweet find. Speaking of love, you know what I love? I love to smoke. I should smoke some. Smoke some in the morning. Some coffee, some tea, some OJ. Wow, I gotta say, for a plastic cup, that motherfucker's still cold. Well done. Physics. Oh. Y'all ever wash a delicate sweater in regular clothes? I did that recently and completely ruined this sweater. But the inside of it is very comfortable, and to use the buzzword, I love it. So I'm gonna keep wearing it. I can't stop thinking about, and I know I changed the subject, but that was mostly just a joke. Bill and Hillary's very sexy open relationship. Do you think that Bill serenades Hillary with the saxophone? As a saxophone player myself, do you think? Because I often find myself wishing I would play the saxophone more. Do you think that he's fallen for the same trap that I did, or do you think that he makes the time? Yep, that's the problem with teaching the kid to be more independent. He doesn't sort the laundry. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta learn. Sometimes you just gotta learn that lesson the hard way. I learned it when I was 30 with my favorite sweater. Because people have been telling me that for all my years. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. Why would I do that in the wash? Then I started buying really soft clothes, and then I was like, whoa, you're not as soft as you were going in there. Our guest is here. You want to meet our guest? Our guest this week, like we said, is Bad Wolf Handmade. Let's get a call going. Let me pause my music. I know y'all can't hear the music, but then I should turn the audio back up. Right about there. We're going to give you a little ringy-dingy. Hello, ringy-dingy. Hi.
Good morning.
How is it? Oh, it is morning still. Wow. See, I was thinking to myself last night at 2 a.m. when I was enthralled in World of Warcraft, which, to use today's buzzword, I love very much.
Lovely.
I thought to myself, you should really change the show time from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. because why are you making yourself get up so early on a fucking Sunday? This is terrible.
I was going to pose that question, but I figured you had your reasons.
Well, we'll get there. So then I realized that the whole reason for the show, aside from wanting to hang out and spend time with my friends, was because I wanted to get up early and spend my day doing day things, instead of sleeping all day. Because I will sleep all day. I'll sleep all fucking day if you let me. All fucking day.
Same.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so sorry for am I allowed to call them technical difficulties?
Yeah, you totally can. Well, and we were talking to we were all talking about our love languages, and we fill the time because I'm a gabby bitch, and the format of the show is very jump in and jump out, so it's built in that it's modular. You can go if you gotta go, or if you don't have all 2 hours, you can jump in. So not a problem. No worries. It happens to the best of us. To answer quick, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm not sure if I count as the best of us this week because this is now the second day in a row that I've woken up in a panic because my alarm hasn't gone off.
Oh, nice. I hate it when that fucking happens.
Yeah, well, it's okay. At least it's happening on the weekend, so I can dial it in before I have to be in class next week.
That's true. Yeah, I had that happen to me when I had like the old iPhone 7 or whatever. Like I just had this bug where none of my fucking alarms would go off. So I bought an actual alarm clock, and I thought it was I plugged it into the wall and I thought it was battery powered. That's the whole reason I bought it. And then the power went out that night for some weird fucking reason, and I found out this is not a battery powered alarm clock. Yeah. So so yeah, like there's so many times that that's like such a real fucking problem for me. Are you one of those folks who sets 50 million alarms? I set 50 million alarms.
So I'm the opposite. I actually get really frustrated. I'm a really deep sleeper, except for specific things will wake me up. Like if I can hear someone moving around, or if I hear a door crack, or if I hear an alarm, like things that we train our brains to look out for.
Sure.
If I hear one of those noises, I'm up immediately.
So an old Victorian house is out of the question for you.
Oh, absolutely. If I lived in a haunted house, I would just go insane and die from sleep deprivation before the ghosts even got me.
Yeah. Well, good to know. Well, maybe they would. Oh man. All right, we're gonna introduce you before I ask this next question. But remind me, the topic is gonna be you living in a haunted house. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So just to let everybody know, who we're talking to is Bad Wolf Handmade. For the purposes of today's show, it's Bad Wolf because that's a lot to say at the same time. A very
Mhm.
good friend of ours. Do you want to use your first name? Do you want to use Bad Wolf?
No, Jess is fine.
Oh, my chat is in your face.
Ah, what are you doing?
I
It's
fixed
too
it.
early for this.
I fast. I fixed it so fast. So fast.
No, Jess is fine. Strangers call me Jessica. Friends call me Jess. So
Yasika.
absolutely. What?
Friends call you Yasika.
Yasaka. That's only on Instagram.
Oh, okay. Yas. I'll call you Jess if that's okay.
Sounds great.
Oh, I'm gonna do it this way. Oh, that looks fucking cool. I've been tinkering around. I added a topic little text box to the stream because last week a lot of folks popped in and they're like, "What's the topic?" And I'm like, I should put that on the screen somewhere. That'd
That's a
be
good
really
idea.
helpful. And I gotta
Look at that. You are honing your craft.
just trial and error. It is what
I
it
mean,
is.
you know what? Sometimes it takes a little more work to get it dialed in. I'm gonna mess with your screen setup and move my chair real quick.
Okay. I just put
All right.
I'll put chat back in your face.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. That's okay. People in the chat are probably much more aesthetically pleasing than I am.
Okay, well, give yourself more credit, right? Everybody needs to do that. Give themselves more credit.
That is
And
true.
speaking of giving
True.
yourself more credit, I did not forget the topic of you living in a haunted house. We're going
Okay.
to circle back around to chat real quick. Hero, who's Mac G Mania in chat, says friends call me Jess, but what about loved ones? What do they call you? Do they still call you Jess?
Hi, Hero. By the way. So my family, like closer loved ones, usually just call me Jay. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like my parents and the so this is an interesting one to talk about love, romantic and otherwise. We actually have a really good friend of the family that lives with my parents. Just because it's not blood related, but really close friend that I've known for uh, at least a decade. And that really close friend stays with my parents, and they all live together and run the businesses and everything together. And they all seem to be really, really happy. So yay,
Cool.
adult roommates. Let's normalize that.
I want to live with your
Um,
parents. That sounds fucking heavenly.
Dude, it's great, and the three of them just like it's a really good balance. And I think that's one of those examples of love, a non-romantic love existing outside of societally expected uh
Norms.
expressions
Yeah,
of
yeah.
love. So yeah, the at least my family, those group of folks, my grandparents, my aunt, my uncle, when I still talk to them a lot. Yeah, for some reason, Jay. I don't know if it
Interesting.
was I'm sure it was out of endearment.
Yeah, or laziness, right? Well, we don't say the whole ass fucking name. That's a long ass name. That's like two whole ass syllables. Good God.
We all do
Oh my
talk a
God.
lot,
Guess
so
what?
having a shortened syllable is good.
So can you can't see my camera. Do you have the stream up by chance?
I do. I have you over on my phone.
Look what it says on my cup. I found this. I found this cup, and I picked it up because it's a Yeti cup.
Okay, we're gonna have to go with the delay on the camera. I
Uh-huh.
just got your ooh, I'm excited face.
Hold it there.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, yeah, me too now. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that's perfect.
It is. It is. Dutch says good morning in chat. Good morning, Dutch.
Oh, good morning, Dutch. I see you.
Yeah, but no, that's a good point about like not necessarily romantic love that humans can have for each other. It's really awesome that your parents are living with this other person who's just a grown ass adult. Like I said, I would love living with your parents. That'd be a really fun situation, and it's cool that they
It's
can
a
do
cool
that.
place to be.
Speaking
Yeah,
of,
I really
sorry.
enjoy it. It was a really sweet story too, because right about the time I started my current employment path, and I started moving around for work a lot, my parents just life circumstances, they got a little tired of where they were at, and they wanted to move, and so between the place that my dad was working at, kind of facilitating that, and my mom being ready to jump on and just kind of try something different for a little bit, they ended up moving. And then this other friend of ours, kind of got to that point where they were getting a little tired of things that were going on where they were at, and they said, how are things out there? And my parents were still really enjoying it where they were. And they said, it's great. And he said, I'm feeling kind of stagnant here. The work isn't giving me a whole lot of opportunities. The music scene isn't giving me a lot to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents just said, well, hey man, if you want to find a way to either transfer your job out here or quit and move out here, like you've got a place to stay. If you'll help us around the house, we can work something out. And so I thought that was really cool on
Yeah,
everyone's part.
for sure. Well,
Yeah.
it's like crazy beneficial to have like such a staple of your livelihood like that already taken care of. And and somebody who's willing to say, "Hey, you do some chores and we're even." Like that's probably one of the sweetest human beings. That's like such a selfless thing to do. And I feel like me personally, and I've been in those situations, I go fucking crazy on the chores and shit, right? Like I will scrub your goddamn floors and your toilets. Yeah, I'm even gonna wipe the top of the doors. That's
Well,
fucking
and I
cool.
I think a lot of the on that note, a lot of the expressions of love and I guess the comfort of love, because I think that a lot of the times we start talking about especially the L word. I think a lot of people feel like there's a lot of subtext and a lot of
Mm,
extra meaning to that word.
true.
So I think one of the reasons that I'm so comfortable using that as a word, not even like as an expression of my feelings for a romantic partner, but even telling a friend or a loved one, "Hey, I love you," came from the way that my parents raised me.
Mm,
They're very expression heavy people. They're both really intelligent people. And it's really been interesting because I've watched them kind of grow and get a deeper understanding of what love looks like in all sorts of forms. And through watching them and through the way that they raised me, I think that they gave me a lot of tools to have a deeper understanding and a deeper appreciation for the different ways that you can express love. And I,
fair.
I think what you're pointing out there is, yeah, it's perfect. It's great to be able to express that love and say, "Hey, I have means. I'm going to help you out. We can figure out something that's going to benefit both of us, but if I have the means to do something for you, let me do it." And then
Mm-hmm.
for that other person, and I saw Torgoth was agreeing with you when you were talking about like, "Hey, I'm going to go above and beyond, especially
Yeah.
if this is like you're doing something for me, so I'm going to do something for you." I'm the exact same way.
Fair.
Anytime I've stayed over at someone's place or romantic partners that I spent the majority of the time at their place, when it comes time to cook or clean, and not because those are like traditional gender roles, but because those are things that I have direct control over.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I can be like, "Hey, you know what, I'm really happy to be spending time in your place. Let me do something for you that's gonna help me return that same sense of gratitude that I feel from you being welcoming and sharing your time and your space with me."
Fair. Fair. So let me ask, and if you're willing to share, if not, let me know. We'll change the subject. But do you know what your love languages are? Give and receive.
Yeah, so my I kind of run the gamut depending on the day as far as
Sure.
giving.
Sure.
I'm big into words. Whether it's romantic partners or friends. Exactly, Amy. That's a perfect restatement of taking something off of their plate to say thank you for making my
Right.
life a little easier.
Right.
So yeah, as far as giving, I think I lean more towards words for general purposes, whether
Okay.
it's my friends or my family or romantic partners. I love telling people what I appreciate about them. And especially if I know that someone's having a little bit of a rough time,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yes, this is my time. I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna bombard you with all these positive things about yourself
Yeah.
because I want you to see that."
Right.
Unless someone expresses like, "Hey, I'm not really comfortable with that."
Yeah. Stop giving me compliments, you fucking weirdo.
Exactly. For romantic partners, I think um, I think I lean towards acts. And is gifts a
Mm-hmm.
different one, or is that still
No,
part of acts?
that's a different one.
Okay,
So
okay.
we did the love language test just as a quick tidbit.
Mhm.
Before you got here, we did and I just also want to point out that a lot of the stuff that you had mentioned in terms of the way you were raised affects the way that you love, and that we a lot of the stuff that you talked about when you're telling us about the situation that your parents are in with the friend and the way that you were raised in regards to how you love, we like we're already just talking about. So I was going to ask you all of those questions and they were all just immediately answered. So like somehow every time I do this with my friends, the conversations flow perfectly, that it just matches with what we were talking about. So that's fucking cool. I just want to give you that little quick tidbit. um
Well, I think it's
Go ahead.
I think that's part of a facet of your communication style.
Sure.
One, you're easy enough to talk to, and I don't know, man, like every conversation that you and I have ever had, it just flows really, really
Hmm.
well, and you leave enough room for people to give what information they can, and then if there's something else that you want to add or you want to take away from that, you're good at uh, presenting that lead for people to kind of jump on.
Well, thanks, and a beautiful demonstration of the way that you show love through words of affirmation. Um, Speaking of the love languages, so we took the test before you showed
Mhm.
up, and um, my test totals, mine were physical touch, and it doesn't elaborate on. Now there are different tests. It doesn't like give you a full breakdown of all of the ones. I imagine that if it did, it would be a big test just based on what I took for the single person test. But
Mhm.
mine's physical touch. Um, and as a quick joke, my totals, because it gives you totals of what your love languages are. My totals added
Mhm.
up to 101%. And
Yep, that sounds about right.
another viewer in chat, their totals added up to 99%. It didn't even add up to 100% on the. So anyway, we had a laugh about that, but mine's physical touch. So look, and that's when it comes to friends and family, same deal to what you were talking about, right? You show it through various different ways, and I don't even know, like that's, you bring up a really good point in terms of it changes based on the situation that you're in and who you're talking to and where you're at, like because obviously I'm going to show physical touch different with a romantic partner, say in public, than I am with like my friends in public. Um,
Mhm.
it's just going to be a little bit different. So that's a really good point that it changes from place to place, um, and person or situation to person or situation. That's well said. Um,
Absolutely.
well, cool. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that with us. That's the love language thing is something that like it feels like it's common knowledge that a lot of people know. And if you do online dating, it seems like it's common knowledge that everybody knows because folks will drop it on there. Hey, what's the name of that test where people are like, I'm an ENFP? Is that a Myers Briggs?
That is the Myers-Briggs personality type.
Do you know what yours is?
Uh, Mine has changed a few times,
Okay, I
especially
heard
over
that
the year.
happens. Yeah.
I think these days I am. I was E. I was extroverted for a very long time, but I think these days my results are a little more towards I.
Oh, sure.
Uh, yeah, so I think right now I'm an INFP.
I'm gonna Google that stuff.
It's
Myers Briggs. Well, I'm going to
introverted.
take it. Is it a long test? Do you know?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
Myers-Briggs. I think it's at least 100 questions.
good God. Well, we're not going to take that right now. I'm
One of
just
the
going
other
to.
ones that I see brought up a lot is there's a color personality inventory. I can't remember if anyone in the chat knows it better than I do. I've taken it a couple of times. I've seen it in a couple of different iterations where they'll give you cards or they'll give you like a list of phrases or words to choose from, and then you end up there's four colors. That's like orange, gold, green, and blue, I think. And each of the colors, like your score, it gives you one of those X and Y axis, and you've got points that are further
Oh,
out and
okay.
further in. That one's actually a pretty cool one too. It kind of is that. Oh yeah, okay. I see you got the Myers Briggs results pulled up on the feed.
Yeah.
So yeah, the colors or the true colors personality inventory or something. Um, that one's pretty cool too because it'll break down like what your motivation style is. I believe is the gist of that one.
Okay. So not only
Yeah,
how you love, or how you operate more widely, but also what motivates you to operate that way.
exactly.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's another fun one, but not so great on that one's more for like work purposes. I see that in a lot of
Okay.
work team building activities.
Not necessarily like romantic or love or otherwise situations.
Not on the surface, but I would argue that for me, so because I have, this anxiety brain that likes to sit there and chew on things and mull them over in my head all the time,
Sure.
I think that motivation can give you understanding the things that motivate someone. Whether it's because the different colors in that test for this example break down into like ordered and organized. Green personality types like to have everything written in pen in a calendar
Oh, so it's just
on
like,
something is
oh, okay.
yeah. So I think if you understand someone's motivation style a little bit more, it can give you some insight into one, who they are as a person, because I think that the more that you know who someone is as a person, the more capacity you have for love for that person.
Sure. I think
I
so
think
too. Yeah.
you can love someone at face value, just be like, hey, you know what, you're a human being, you go through crap just like I do, like I love you.
Would you
Um,
say the opposite is also true, that you can love somebody less and less the more you get to know them?
Absolutely. I have known a handful of people like that in my life.
Same. Same. Cool. Torga says
Right.
that he is ISTJ, which is the logistician. Not an easy thing to say.
Okay, okay.
But that's cool that
Um,
they do the
yeah.
personality type with like sort of this style of categorization, I guess, of the different things that you operate. And one is cool that they tie the motivation to that too, because just as important as what a person is doing is why they're doing the thing. Uh, that I think
And I
that.
think
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the more you understand someone, I think that can help you understand how to communicate
Right.
effectively with them.
Right. Well, and it also helps with conflict with that person too. That prior context and how they're kind of dealing with things in their life, or kind of the some of the things that they might be going through, does kind of, at least for me, help with understanding why the person is reacting the way that they are to any sort of situation, and
Hmm.
more importantly, how to help. At least
Absolutely.
if how to help is a skill set I have, and if not, then trying to find the right resources. That's
Or
a good
at
point.
least, yeah,
That's a good point.
perfect. I was gonna say if you don't if you can identify something, if you can identify one of your shortcomings, like if you can tell that the way that you're trying to resolve conflict isn't working the way that you want it to,
Hmm.
and you can identify, oh, well, this is a priority for this person. I'm not real good at that. You can figure out, like, hey, maybe I can learn more about how to do this or that. And
Right.
that can not only help you become a better at expressing that love and supporting people through conflict, but can help you learn a little bit more about yourself and give you more reasons to love yourself.
Good. Well said. Good point. Good point. That's a really good point. Chicken says in chat, I'm a helper, so it's hard for me to know that someone doesn't really want help; they just want a vent. Yeah, I'm the very same boat. The one thing that's helped me the most in that situation is always asking somebody. Let me try. Let me rephrase. Trying my best to always ask somebody, "Hey, are you looking for a solution? Are you looking to vent?" And I do run into a lot of times where someone is saying, "You know what? Hey, if both, if you have, I'm here to vent, but if you come up with solutions while we're talking, then fucking send it." Other folks, I've had folks that are just like, listen, I don't need your help. I just really want someone to talk to about this. I'm like, fucking rant away. And at that point, I'm very good at, like you said earlier, really diving into actively listening to what they're saying and trying to make sure that I understand and comprehend. As many of you know, I'm very big at asking questions if I feel like I need clarification, or
Hmm.
I just ask a lot of questions to make sure I understand things correctly. But yeah, I'm 100% like, I want to fix this problem, but I have gotten pretty good at the, oh no, she didn't. It's balance. What about you?
Well, I think I have the same chicken. I definitely identify with what you're saying, and yeah, Bo, I've been on the receiving end of that hey man, are you looking to vent or do you want solutions? And I personally, I find that really really helpful, and I think that that's a great tactic, because the times that you've asked me that, not only has it made me pause, not only, so first off, it makes me pause and gives me a second to think about what am I intending to achieve with this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So you help me kind of get my intentions set,
Oh, good.
and it also it's reassuring because so many times we go in there and we just start rambling off, and one person wants one thing, the other person is expecting to give the other thing, whether it's solutions versus being heard.
True.
Um, and the fact that, whoever you're talking to would take that time to be like, hey, I want to support you the best I can. Do you want to vent? Do you want me to try to help? What do you, how can I be there for you right now? I think that's another layer there. Not only do you get that chance to be like, oh, wow, I feel heard if that's what you're looking for,
Mm-hmm.
but you get that sense of, oh, okay, this person actually cares about me, so I'm not
Right.
going through this problem alone.
Right.
I think that adds an extra layer there. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I think sometimes giving someone, if you reframe it, especially if you think about like, I want to solve this problem, I want to solve this problem for this person. Sometimes the way that you solve their problem is by giving them a chance to be heard.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. Yeah. That's a well said way to put that. That's a good way to put that for sure.
I
Well,
got all
and
the neurons firing as fast as I can this morning.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's a good way um, to take something that at least and it sounds like Chicken and a lot of other folks feel in terms of the need to fix a problem. Like that is both a way that you can solve their problem and still satisfy, your needs in terms of helping another person. And that's only just a testament. Like this entire kind of segment is a big testament to an important kind of love in self love, because I think that in order to accomplish what we're talking about, it takes a measure of reflection and looking inside oneself. And I think that you can't really love yourself until you start doing that. And I think that it's a big
Absolutely.
misconception that as soon as you look within yourself, that you're going to love yourself. That's because that's quite the opposite for at least myself and many other people that I've talked to about it. And professional or otherwise.
My journey with self-love has been extremely complicated, and I'm pretty sure at least everyone whose names I'm seeing in the chat right now I hear Chicken kind of giggling in the back of my head
Yeah,
as
me
I say
too.
this.
Me too.
Um, and it's funny. I honestly I think self-love it's dichotomous because it's one of the easiest things that you can do, and I think it's also one of the hardest things to truly do. Um,
That's what Hero was saying in chat. Self love is hard.
absolutely, absolutely, hero. I see you, chicken. Um, I do want to give a little bit of a shout out while we're on the subject
Feel
because
free.
I don't know about you, man, but I think back to the moments in my life when I was younger that keep coming back to me, like in my memory as I'm figuring out how to live my life as an adult.
Hmm.
And a lot of those formative moments come back to conversations with Aunt Chicken.
Same. Same. Very much so. Same.
Yeah, there were plenty of times where she pulled me aside, and and I know that one of the times that you and I have previously talked, we expressed a little bit of frustration of like, man, if I could just go back and force all this stuff that I finally understand into younger me's brain,
Yes.
my life would be so much easier.
Absolutely.
Um, and there were so many conversations when Chicken and really good friends on that same level, that loving mentor role, have pulled me aside and been like, look, I see what you're doing right now, and I think it's partially because you don't know how to actually spend time with yourself in your own space, in your own head.
Right.
Um,
Without hating
and
yourself. Yeah.
and I got to so many points in my life, when I was 17 versus when I was 21 versus when I was, 23. I would sit back and I'd be like, oh, I finally have this self-love thing figured out. Oh, wow, I finally like myself. And then I noticed myself falling back into the same patterns. And then I'd get
Hmm.
to another kind of breaking point and I'd have to, internalize and kind of rest and recuperate and bring myself back to an okay emotional state.
Right.
And then I'd turn around and be like, oh, I finally have self-love figured out. I finally like me. And I keep getting to these higher and higher levels of like comfort in my own head and in my own body. um and I'm again at another one of those points at 30 years old where I turn around, I'm like, wow, okay, I actually really like me. I didn't have it figured out earlier, and I'm interested to see if this is just another one of those moments where I'm like,
Sure.
oh, hey, no, I could have been doing it better the whole time.
Well, and I think that we have to point out, at least for a lot of folks, myself included, that it's an ebbs and flow kind of thing, right? I think if anything, that's a testament to the human's mind, a human mind's incredible ability to adapt and to grow and to learn. I think that maybe if you don't have that struggle, or if it's maybe not as strong, then there might have to be a question involved in regards to, is this something that I'm still doing, um, and self-reflection. You know what I mean? Oh, and
Well, it's
it's funny that you bring up personal growth, and like how it relates to this is yet another good example of what we were talking about earlier, and how sometimes you just have to learn lessons the hard way. The example that I was using was the sweater that I'm wearing is like my favorite sweater. It's super soft, it's super cozy, and for years and years and years, ever since I was a kid, folks were telling me, "Hey, don't you need to separate your laundry, your delicates and your not delicate clothes, and if you don't, you're gonna fuck up some clothes." And I was like, "That's bullshit, right? Like all my clothes are fine in the washer and have been for the last 30 fucking
throw them in
years."
there.
And then I got, nice, soft, delicate clothes, threw them in there, and fucking ruined them. All the underwear are not as soft as they were when they were new, and the fucking sweaters are all ruffled and like. But that was a lesson that I told everybody, even people whose opinions I respected and who helped me out in many other situations. Yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna do whatever I want with my laundry, until I finally stumbled and stubbed my toe, and I was like, "Fuck, all those people were right." I think that there's a there's definitely something to be said about how often we face that within ourselves. Well, and as we broaden it a little bit with the relationships with the people we love too, uh, and that being the reflection to evaluate what's going on versus where we were. And I think that I don't want to say regret, but the reflection of, holy shit, I wish I would have started listening to this advice a lot sooner. I think that's what helps us as we age, because we have more and more of those moments. That way, when we hear advice, we're like, okay, maybe I won't be so skeptical immediately.
Right? You start remembering all those times that you kind of heard the words and then just said, "Nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do it this way."
Yeah.
Um, so I see in the chat, Iron Fletcher made a really good point, that nobody wants to learn from someone who's perfect, or at least I don't, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. I think that there's something to be said for being able to identify humanity in another person, and for me, if I see someone that presents themselves as, flawless, it's almost like learning to skate and then Tony Hawk shows up at the
Right.
skate park. I don't know if I'm dating myself with that reference.
No, Tony Hawk
But
is still relevant. He has a TikTok.
it's oh, does he? I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
go find him. I
Have you
saw
seen
all
Tony
of his
Hawk's Twitter?
I love his Twitter. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, I cry. I laugh so hard I cry.
For those of you who don't know, Tony Hawk is, I guess, self-infamous for people telling him that he looks like Tony Hawk, and like kind of butchering it, like, "Oh, you look like that skate dude." He's like, "Yeah, I get that a lot."
But and Chicken, I think that uh that's a really good point, because that comment about nobody wants to learn from someone who's perfect. I saw you mention that you feel like you still don't have your shit figured out, and I don't think there's any problem with that. And I think that that's part of being able to love yourself, is saying, hey, I identify that there are areas that I fall short.
Mm-hmm.
But not but and my mom always told me, sorry, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole here.
No,
My
this is
mom
a good
always
one. I know
told
where you're going.
me
I agree.
my mom always told me never to use the word but when you're making a comparison, because as soon as you say the word but, it invalidates whatever came out of your mouth before
Before
that.
it, yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So instead of "I love you, but I wish you would help me," you know, around the house more,
Right.
you
Well,
kind of
yeah,
invalidate that first
yeah.
part.
Yeah, well, and
Whereas you
the very point of the word "but" is to be contradictory, right?
absolutely. So I still make a conscious effort to try to use "and" instead of "but."
Where it's applicable, absolutely. Me too. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Absolutely. So being able to say, I recognize that there are these areas that I fall short, or I recognize that there's things that I wish that I was better at, and I'm really, really proud of, this way that I've been able to, bring some positivity in this world, or I'm really proud of this thing that I've been able to accomplish, or I really love being able to, look at the people that I've formed meaningful connections with over the years. Um, and I think that point about not wanting to learn from anyone who's perfect or who actually has their shit together, I think it almost feels a little insincere when you see someone that's just this paragon of whatever you're trying to learn from them. I think that you lose a little bit of that mentor effect when you don't get a chance to actually see that person humanized.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I think that that's because part of learning from a person is also learning how to recover from not, I don't want to say just the mistakes because that's too specific, but how, you know what, we'll just say part of learning is learning how to encounter adversity also. What are you going to do when things don't go my way or the way that they were planned or the way that they're supposed to go, and or what happens if I mess up? How do I recover? How do I pivot? How do I move this into something productive? Because I mean, and there's a lot of folks, specifically in regards to love, both romantic and otherwise, who if they hit a stumble, they hit a roadblock, they're out, they dip, they're like, nah, you know,
yeah,
I'm not gonna pivot from this. I'm not gonna move on. So when it comes to learning from folks who are perfect, how are you gonna learn that? How are you gonna learn how to encounter adversity and how to move past adversity if you don't, especially if you're already learning through watching a person?
hmm
You're gonna miss that. You're gonna have to learn that the hard way. And you know, I don't know about you, but for me, that's the biggest teacher: failure, mistakes.
absolutely.
That's
Well,
the way I learn the fastest and the best.
absolutely, and I think there's a lot to be said for learning more from your failures than your successes.
Hmm.
Because your successes, those are your moments of positive reinforcement. Those are your moments where you get to take all those skills that you gained from those failures in the past and say, "Hey, look how I did it different this time. I was able to do that a little bit better." Um, And one of so I think two of the concepts that I've kind of had really reinforced for me in my line of work over the last few years is one, what it looks like to lead from the front,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of different leadership styles out there, and things are going to work differently for everyone. Um, but one of the big emphases that I see push out through professional channels and just personal channels as well is you and I know we talk about this in like modern leadership seminars and discussions and things like that, but it's really important to me to be able to see someone who says, hey, as a leader, this is the standard, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, and then to actually have that person take the time to either walk you through it or watch them and be able to learn, okay, so I saw what they did there, that's something different than I would have done, or I saw what they did there, maybe if I do it this way it would go better.
Right.
um
Was
and I
it?
think
Is
that,
it learn one, do one, teach one?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so I think having that humanization also makes you able to lead from the front. I think that people that don't embrace their flaws and don't um, allow their flaws to be seen, I think that kind of takes a little bit of that away because
True.
you're not watching a true representation of the process. Whatever we're learning, even if it's learning to love ourselves or learning to express love healthily in regards to others.
True.
If we don't have that example of a person that actually admits their shortcomings or identifies like, "Ooh, hey, that wasn't perfect. Maybe I could have done that better." I don't think we're actually truly getting to see that example.
True. True.
And the other thing is resilience. Like, resilience is probably, for me, it's probably the most important tool that I have in my toolbox. Because it's too easy to sit there and talk about, it's too easy for us to sit here and have these big brain philosophical conversations about,
Yeah. Love and
anything really.
leadership. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anything. Yeah.
Exactly. But one of the things that you learn to develop is your real-time resilience and your mental agility.
Hmm.
Mental agility is a big one. Because again, even when you're talking about resiliency and being able to reframe perspectives and stop negative thinking patterns, if you don't have that real-time mental agility to recognize like, oh hey, I see shit going south right now, maybe it's time for me to start stepping back and fixing this situation. I think that's another example of, if you're learning by example, Um, if you're watching the people that are mentoring you and are teaching you, and you don't ever get a chance to see them in that situation where shit goes south, you don't have context for how that might look, and it
Right.
makes it that much harder for you
Right.
to even be able to start practicing that.
Right. 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 Well, and that's because I mean, failure in and of itself is hard to overcome in the mind. You know, it's pretty dragging on one's sensibilities in regards to self love. That's one. You know, that's a really good pivot to from self love to like professional love. In that, just to go to immediately talk about what you were talking about, the I guess to be cheesy, love that it takes for a leader to be vulnerable in front of those in whom they lead, in order to show that kind of mental agility capacity. I think that
Mhm.
takes a certain amount of love, especially how failure and mistakes can somewhat be stigmatized, you know? Specifically, I think less so now, these days, as people are
Mhm.
more and more apt to reflecting. But still, like, there's a certain stigma behind mistakes and failure, and like, if not from those around you, from yourself, it still comes within, like we were just talking about. So, um, like that takes a lot of love. Would you say that as a leader? Like you're just saying, as a leader, that it does take love to be able to do that for your leadees, your charges.
Oh, this is a good question. I'm gonna try not to go on one on this.
And you can. I just also want to point out because it's a good time to do it. We have 9 minutes before 11, so
Okay.
I only asked for your time up until 11. So if you'd like to continue going after, I'm totally down with that. I just wanted to, this is like the 2 minute warning. And
I
if you want to keep going, we can keep going. And yeah, I just figured I'd let you know.
I'm more than happy to keep going. Again, especially since I got to get my alarms figured out. I'm more than happy to keep going.
Okay.
I know eh, I don't expect everyone to stay in here for that long. But yeah, I'm enjoying our conversation, so I'm more than happy to keep going. You let me know when you're kind of reaching your content threshold, and we
Yeah,
can work with that.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. So love and leadership. Um, so I think first off, that I think that leadership requires love in a couple of different facets. So first off, the love for what you're doing in general. If you're doing, whether you're a programmer or an EMT or a cashier or fill in the blank. Whatever you're doing, if there isn't something, because you don't have to love every single thing about everything that you're doing. You don't have to love logging into the computer every morning. You don't have to love driving to work every day. But if there's something about it that you do love, interacting with people, going out and driving big equipment around, solving problems and flexing your creative muscle to find new ways of doing things. If you can identify that love in what you're doing, even in the hard times, I think that that sets you up for greater success in general. And again, on top of that, in a leadership role.
Adds to that mental
And
agility too.
exactly, exactly. Oh my God, we're all bringing it right back around together.
Encapsulating.
Okay, so I think especially on a leadership level, it requires that and a little bit more. Because I don't think that, yes, okay, pay increases are nice and responsibility increases are nice and a little more freedom to do things the way that you want to do them, things that we commonly associate with leadership roles in professional settings. Um, yes, they're nice, and those things are there for people that have the capacity um, to still be loyal and dutiful to whatever they're doing. And on top of that, the people around them. Because a lot
Yeah.
of the times when you're in these leadership roles, you're going to be mentoring or you're going to be managing or directing. You're going to have more responsibility given to you that it's your responsibility to delegate to other people.
Right.
And at least the leadership roles that I'm familiar with, something that comes hand in hand with that is training and developing and teaching those other people that you're going to be in a leadership role with, your peers and your subordinates.
Right.
So I think that there's another level of love, and I think sometimes this is one of those areas where it kind of sounds weird to say like, "Oh, I love what I do," or you need to love the
Hmm.
job. Like,
If you love what you do,
no,
you never work a day in your life.
yeah, yeah, that's a complicated phrase.
Hmm.
You can find, and the thing is, you can find something to love, or you can find something to hate about any aspect of your life.
True.
Um, that's how I ended up living in Hawaii for 2.5 years, and some days I straight up hated it.
Yeah.
Which are words I never expected to leave my mouth.
Sure.
So I think when you're in a leadership role, there's an extra level. So you've got that love for what you do, because if you get to the point where you hate putting on your boots in the morning, or you hate sitting down at the computer, maybe it's time for you to think about walking away and doing something new, because it's never too late to change. Like, the human brain is amazing, and if you're miserable doing what you're doing, go do something else.
That's true.
Um, so there's that love for what you do, that idea of being a steward of your profession.
Ooh, well said.
And then on top of that, you have to have a love for the people that you work with. I would argue it's possible to love what you do but hate everyone around you, and I don't think that those types of people should be pursuing leadership positions. And if those types of people find themselves in leadership positions, it's time for them to learn how to at least fake it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because you're responsible for more than just you, and your mistakes are a bit more impactful. You know, and
Absolutely.
that kind of leads us to what Unique was saying in chat too. There are some studies about making mistakes. People find mistakes endearing. It gains more love and appreciation if they're respected and cared about the person. If they did not beforehand, it can have the opposite effect. So it makes them feel a little bit more genuine, right? So like in regards to you hear Mr. Meats doing Mr. Meats things, slurp, slurp, slurp. Okay.
No, I agree with what Unique's saying. I think that's a real good piece to throw in there. And I think that on a large scale, we have been moving towards being more accepting of leaders and representatives being vulnerable. I think that this is just my personal hot take, but I think that wanting people to be perfect is a really kind of boomer thing. Um, that generation, like, everything had to be, you know, it was all about making things as good as they could be, as flawless as they could be. And I think that with some of the generations that we have taking up the majority of the population these days, we are more comfortable humanizing our public figures and our role models, and you know, insert position of trust here,
Sure.
whatever word you want to throw in there. Um,
Well, I think that
so
that's
yeah,
a relative thing too, because in regards to the boomer everything having to be perfect thing, I think that that's been a really long curve, dating back to for a really long time. You think about how perception of one's at least let's talk about like wealth for example. Perception of one's wealth is really important to some folks in terms of how they're regarded in the world, right? So if they want perfection in all things, if a person wants perfection in all things, I don't. I think that it's been on that curve for a long time. Think like old Victorian time dresses or houses or everything had to be, just spotless and beautiful. Everything's been symmetrical ever since math came out. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Everything's so I think that the idea that things have to be perfect, I think you're right. That is comparatively speaking these days, generationally at least, 100% a boomer concept. But I think that they're on the tail end and at the beginning of a really steep curve, upward or downward, depending on what your opinion is, towards human acceptance of one's self and one's mistakes. And what is that to say about boomers who are like, well, everything had to be perfect in our day, and all of a sudden they're like, why does everybody care about each other all of a sudden? What the fuck? This isn't what I grew up doing. I mean, and that comes back down to what we were talking about in terms of like mental agility and being able to adapt and overcome, and that's a good point.
Absolutely. No, that is a really good point. And I think it's funny that you bring up the whole symmetry and math analogy, because I think about math and I think about all the different sequences and equations and numbers that we have, and taking into account, just on a very surface level, all of the diversity that there is within math. I think the idea of symmetry is probably the most boring thing that we have out there.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm personally pretty partial to the Fibonacci sequence, but you know, um, yeah. So, and I want to take a second to return to the chat real quick because Fletcher made a comment about fake it every day, and that might be to me that has a little zing of nihilist humor to it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we have the
Um,
context and love for the person that we know that how they operate and the way that their humor is. Yeah.
well, and one of the other things too, it's funny because that it may just seem like an off the cuff throwaway moment, but thinking of something else that has been a great love in my life. When I was in marching band in high school, I
I
was
loved
one of
marching
those
band.
people.
I
God, I
was
loved
too. I
marching
was
band.
too. That's a different way to live right there.
Right, especially like having that competitive aspect where you
Yeah.
got like the show day, excitement and
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, I don't know about you, but I loved it when people who didn't understand anything about marching band were like, marching band competitive, and you're like, oh honey,
like,
oh,
oh,
oh honey,
okay, right,
you go
right,
watch a little football.
right. I'm gonna be. I remember. I think it was the 2007 DCI World Championships. They did a study. They did a little blurb that they played at one of the intermissions for the show, where they actually hooked up, heart monitors and respirators and oxygen masks to a bunch of the musicians and the athletes that were out there. And they took readings off like one of the guys on the drum line as he's running around,
Yeah,
and they were reading. They're like, this dude's working pretty much harder than half the athletes that you have out there on, the baseball team or the football team or the basketball team,
yeah.
just in these, 13 minutes that he's doing his show.
Right. Well, not only are they doing the physical activity with the marching, but they're remembering what the fucking patterns on the field are. And on top of all of this, they're playing a fucking instrument. And most of these instruments are wind fucking power. They're not stringed
Yep.
instruments. So not only do
Yep.
you have to breathe to function your very physically active body, but you also have to do that while breathing through something that makes really loud noises if you fuck up. And
You got to move
also,
a lot of air, and
right.
it's hard to hide mistakes, man.
And you have to fucking remember what the patterns on the field are. You have to remember where you're going and where all 200 people on the field are going. And the best bands also remember every goddamn note to every goddamn song.
Oh,
Like,
and make sure you're where you need to be at the right time, or
mm-hmm.
else the entire formation is going to look fucked up.
Right. Fletcher says, out, shots fired, Bo. Well, I said what I said. Hot take, marching band is harder than sports. It just is. It just fucking is.
I mean, okay, let's be fair here. Like
Some
there are a
sports.
lot of athletes, non-marching band athletes that dedicate their time and their energy, and I'll be honest, like I never went on a specific diet plan for marching band season. I
Well,
never
but did
went
you ever
to,
win the world championships?
well,
No.
no,
So,
I
but we're
only made
talking
it to
about,
state. We didn't have the money to go to
but
worlds.
we're talking a relative scale, right? So you're gonna tell me that there's these professionals out there that work their bodies every day. I'm looking at you, you hunk Aaron Rodgers, and like just a Patrick Mahomes. Anyway, they
Oof.
work their bodies all day, every day, busting their ass, learning plays. But as somebody at the relative scale of an athlete to a marching band person, right? Like I'm not. And don't get you know me. I'm the ultimate advocate for everything in both sides, and like everything has two sides to the story. But I'm 100% willing to admit my bias towards marching madness here because that shit is hard. It's so hard. I've never been. I
It
was in
is.
the best shape I ever was in my whole life when I was in marching band. Fucking hard. I couldn't even
Yeah.
I couldn't even really remember. I play the woodwinds, saxophones mostly, and some of those are in marching bands. But because of what we talked about previously in terms of mental capacity that it takes to do this, I've played the drums. I was in percussion because I was like, I can't remember all that shit. Are you fucking kidding me? And this was all before I smoked weed.
I was like, because it wasn't legal back then,
No.
dude. Holy cow, we're not far away from like young adults existing in the world that don't remember what it was like before weed was legal.
Right. Or Shaggy, it wasn't me.
God,
Uh,
I'm pretty sure I already have younger coworkers that don't know who Shaggy is.
yeah. Yeah. Ask them who let the dogs out. See what they say. They're like, what the fuck do you mean who let the dogs out?
God, I introduced one of my back in Hawaii, one of the younger girls that I work with, I introduced her to Evanescence.
Nice.
I was sitting there and I was working on something and I was kind of bumping some Evanescence while I was organizing
Of course you
some
fucking were,
inventory.
homie. Of course you fucking were.
And she comes in and she's like,
That's
"Wow,
awesome.
this is really good." She's like, "Sorry, this kind of slaps." I was like, "Yeah, it's Evanescence."
Just because she
And she
said
kind of looked at
slap,
me
you're
and
like,
she's
I
like,
don't know.
"But what?" I mean, I knew what she was talking about.
Sure.
She was, I was like, "Well, yeah, it's Evanescence. You know, Amy Lee is, one of my girl crushes." And she kind of looks at me and she's like, "What is Evanescence?" I was like, "Oh,
Oh, Muffin.
God."
Did you see the TikTok where they're like, this one is for the older generation on TikTok? I'm talking about the late 90s, early 2000s. And I'm like, oh!
Yeah, stop it.
Well, I mean, really, it's their app. We're kind of just
Yeah,
encroaching. I
we're there for we're
right.
appropriating
Right.
their
Well,
app.
and it's funny that we feel that way because, like Amy said in chat, that there's folks that who are older than us that feel that way about when we're doing things in the world. Also, real quick to point out, Fletcher said that wrestling to Fletcher is hands down the most difficult thing physically, and I will say that I do agree that that's super demanding. That's super, and like especially if we're talking about the scale of athletes and
Oh yeah,
marching band folks who are operating professionally like Olympic wrestlers. Are you fucking kidding me? That shit is hard. Hard.
yeah. So I was a wrestling manager for a couple years in high school, and
Look at you go.
yeah, my heart really goes out to those dudes. So I never went through, all those the insane freaking workouts and the dieting and the cutting. And I watched some of our I think one of the guys that was the starting quarterback for the football team was also on the wrestling team, and I would watch
Jesus.
that guy go from football season cut down to his actual wrestling weight, and that kid was like living in sauna suits, and it probably wasn't healthy
Sure.
looking back on it,
Well,
but
right, but
just
the
watching.
younger you are, the more adaptable and malleable your body
Yeah,
is. I
yeah,
mean, or they're
it's
gonna die at 45 from some sort of heart failure. It's one or the other. No in between.
I should go check up on him on like Facebook or
I should
something and
call
and
him.
say,
That's funny.
like, "Hey bro, how's your liver?" No, and Fletcher, I completely agree. Like I watched those guys. It kind of I'm a really like empathetic person. And yeah, just watching those guys go through cutting and everything that they had to do to get ready for wrestling, and then some of the injuries that I saw out there that you just couldn't have seen coming. It was just one of those moments where, oh hey, someone placed a hand wrong somewhere or someone posted up in a bad way. And there was one tournament we were walking into, and just during warm-ups, trigger warning if anybody's kind of squeamish about like injuries or joint problems specifically. So
Avert your
we walked
attention.
in. Right, maybe skip the next like 45 seconds. Um, we walked in and I was watching two dudes just kind of warming up, going through the motions, and one of the guys posted his arm up and I could tell he locked it out.
Oops.
And the other kid that was working with him, he couldn't tell, and he came and he tried to break that post, and I watched the kid's elbow just like dislocate and completely flop around the other way.
Yikes.
So yeah, that's and Fletcher, it's a perfect segue there. I think that is one of those things that like that's a perfect expression of love right there. Especially doing that at, I understand at the high
Oh,
school
you mean
level,
in
like there's
reference to like loving what you do?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, because if I sit there and think about like, well, okay, on the surface, sitting there thinking about, hey, there's this thing that I want to do, and I got to get up super early and go run, and I got to be real careful about what I eat, and I got to be real careful about watching my weight. Um, I have to do that for work because that's my job, and I don't get paid if I don't do that. Um, but thinking about like, oh, hey, this is just something I want to do, and then there's all these extra requirements on top of it. To me, that's love. Like I wouldn't do that unless that was something that I absolutely adored doing with at least a large chunk of my being.
No shit. No shit.
Yeah.
And
And
just to pop back, did you see what Goss said in chat that the saddest day of his life is when he found all the music he loves on classical alt music station?
you know, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Just enjoy it, embrace it.
You're getting older, bro. That's the fucking way it is.
Yeah,
It's the
Goth.
fucking way it is.
Look at it this way. There's a lot of people that don't get to live to see as old as you feel like you are. So there's some honor to be had in that, man.
Well, as
The fact
old
that
as
you've been around
Torgoth
that long.
feels, I'm pretty sure no human lives to 150.
You know what? He could be the first.
Oh, he could be the
Anything
first.
is possible.
I mean, especially if he's already like bearing the burden. You know, working like 150-year-old body would work. Just
He's bearing some burden.
exhausted. You talking? Don't oh chicken.
Yep.
I was like, who's Don? And don't get me started. Yeah. Well, exactly. Right. Exactly. He's classy now.
Yeah.
One, I was gonna say one would argue he's always been classy,
Torgoth is
but
classy now?
I stomped on the brakes on that one. I was like, I have a mental image of him burned into my mind, handcuffed to a fucking refrigerator in his boxers, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure that might be classy in some circles, but like, if we're gonna talk about the majority here, oh my God, speaking loosely of kinky stuff, do you want to hear my new favorite conspiracy about Bill and Hillary Clinton, Billary, as they'll be known from now forward?
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, I
I
don't
don't
think
like to
this.
think about the Clintons having sex, but send it.
I don't think that this one will get us Epsteined, so I think we'll be okay.
All right.
But oh my God, I love that we've turned that into a verb. I'm pumped about that. So I had a conspiracy theory earlier in chat. We were talking. I was rambling earlier before you got here, eating this fucking delicious burrito. But we decided that we were talking about how in the 80s and 90s, I was talking about having a stream deck and wanting to make a buzzword every time somebody said love, going yay in chat. And then we talked about Pee Wee Herman and why he went to jail and how the 80s and 90s were not as accepting, sexually speaking, right? So that we said Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton were probably in an open relationship, and they had fun, freaky stuff happen all of the time. But they were tired of Bill being president. He's like, I just work too goddamn much. I don't have enough time to serenade you with this sax and do what I want to do for you, baby. And Hillary's like, well, I wish that there was some way we could just get you out of the office, without you going to prison. Wouldn't that be great?
Why do we call Monica?
And Bill says, I got an idea. I got an idea.
Hashtag Bo didn't kill himself.
Well, I was saying, if I ever get the chance to meet them in person, I'm going to like pull them to the side and ask. And I thought to myself, I'm not sure if I want to be alone in a room with Hillary Clinton while I'm breaking or asking potentially groundbreaking questions. And then
right?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
So I have a similar conspiracy theory. I definitely think that Bill and Hillary were swingers. And I think that either the Monica thing happened and Hillary like knew about it and she was off doing whatever with whoever. And it just kind of oopsie, someone found out about it.
Yeah.
And so because Hillary
at
was
the desk,
pretty
Bill,
cool,
we talked about this.
right? Like, God damn it, Bill.
You know that thing's made from a ship, right? You know you can't just get cum stains out of ship wood.
Damn it, Bill, I bought you that cigar.
That was supposed to be for us. Oh,
that
man.
was for our anniversary, you son of a bitch.
Well, at least it was Monica. I like Monica. She's a good egg.
Right. So I do think that Bill and Hillary were either swingers or polyamorous, and it just kind of oopsied its way out, or maybe Hillary was like, I can see you your line of logic coming in there too, Bill, being like, I just like it's been a good run.
Even my pube hairs are turning gray.
Bill realized he didn't enjoy putting the tie on every day anymore, and so he tried to find him an out.
Not enough time for the sex.
And then I think maybe Hillary was like, okay, it's my turn.
Oh. Okay, so you're saying, oh, okay, okay, and that's why she fought so hard to be the president because she wanted to get head at
Mhm.
that table too. And
Right, because
hmm,
yep, doing her secretary, so senator, secretary of state, and then she's like, "Hey, set me up for this presidential run. We'll let the Republicans come in and shake things up for a little bit, and then
ah,
it's gonna be my turn."
well, and new book. Oh man, band name. I got a band name idea. You want to hear it?
Send it.
Cunnilingus in the Oval Office.
Ooh,
Maybe that's an album title. That feels a bit more like an album title.
I like Cunnilingus in the Oval Office as an album title.
Yeah. You can use it for your band. Feel free. Chickens is in chat. This is where this spirals. This is that's 100%.
Absolutely.
And that's why we do this. So we can just tangent. We can tangent. And that way if this comes out in 10 years when everybody's more socially accepting of love and the way people show love, and things are less stigmatized. Hillary and Clinton like, well, yeah, that whole Monica thing, all part of the plan. And we're like, we fucking knew it. Check out the
Yeah,
timestamp on this YouTube video
back in
from
2020, called it.
way back there in 2020. It's like fucking 2051.
Right.
And we're like in floating cars. Oh my God, I can't wait to play Cyberpunk 2077. It comes
Oh
out
man.
in 4 days, allegedly.
Oh man. So one of the commissions that I did for someone recently was they asked me to make one of the chokers or the collars or something in the 2077 like color
Oh,
scheme.
like the blacks and the yellows and
Yes,
oh,
and the
cool.
greens and
Yeah,
everything, and
yeah.
that was so fun to work
I
on.
bet.
And I really enjoyed it because I was looking through like concept art and interviews, and like I wanted to make sure that I had a good feel for what I was capturing in the piece that I was making.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was fun on all sorts of levels because just like looking through the artwork and reading people talk about this world that they've created. Like I'm stoked for it. I think it looks like it has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't go the way of No Man's Sky and just end up
Oof.
like
Got him.
broken and terrible in the first iteration.
I mean, I don't think so. The game industry is a buzz. Those are my social circles. The game
Yeah.
industry is a buzz with how and one, we can make this loosely relevant to what we were talking about. How passionate and caring the people who are working on that project are about that project, how much they love, how much they're putting into it, and what's going on with it. And I think they've made that pretty clear with both of their announcements to delay the game because that's happened twice,
Mhm.
as you might know. Um, and that's why I said allegedly when they said December 10th. But those folks are apparently loving everything that they're doing, and they hit a bit of a English people say controversy.
Uh, controversy.
Yeah,
I don't know, controversy.
I gotta ask an English person. I'm gonna do that. One of the people who I play WoW with is, I think, from the UK. I'm gonna ask if he's from England, if he says controversy. Anyway, they got into some fire because they said that they were never gonna overwork their employees and then did mandatory 6-a-days. And I think that was Cyberpunk. I could be wrong. Um, but I'm thinking, having been in that development situation before, especially beyond deadlines, like that's a huge project. They're trying to make this the next Skyrim, right? Like they're trying to make this the
Mhm.
next game that they release on the next 10 fucking platforms for $286 billion or whatever it is.
We'll
That
have HD remasters for the next 10
right.
years.
Well, imagine this fucking game in VR, dude. Imagine how fucking cool
Oh,
this game
man.
would be. Exactly. So,
That would be
like,
awesome.
I think one, you gotta give them credit, the studio and the creators, because they're trying to release a game in the middle, like literally the dead center of a console transition, which are never
Mhm.
easy times. And they're actually saying that the Xbox One and PS4 versions of that game are what's holding them up. They're trying to find ways to implement all of the stuff that they put into that game into what that hardware is capable of handling.
Yeah,
So, but that
that
is
is a really good point.
that's a huge testament to the love that the creators and the creators. Let's just say the creators, right? Because at a certain level, like you were talking about, the management and the leaders have to be at least somewhat detached so that they can focus on other things.
Right.
Um,
It's a fine line. There's a balance there for
right,
sure.
right. It's true.
Um, speaking of projects that I this one might be kind of obscure.
We just talked
There is
about
another
Bill and
project.
Hillary Clinton's sex life, bro. Like
Oh yeah, it was good. It was
obscure,
good.
obscure is not something we're afraid of. Clearly.
So there is a book series that I have been reading since I was probably too small to fully appreciate the scale of the world created in these books when I started. I've probably read through them a handful of times over the course of my life. It's 14 books,
It's the Wheel of Time.
thousands and thousands of pages. Um, and there was an announcement. God, okay, so I remember. So the book series, I think, is as old as I am. They started publishing it in 1990. Um, and I think I read in like 2005 that some game studio had bought rights to make a video game about it. And I was super stoked then. I was like, oh, that's going to be so cool. And then I don't ever remember seeing anything being made video game wise for that. There was an old 32-bit system game that I played for a while that was pretty fun, but I can't find it anymore.
What
I'd love to
series?
go back and play it again. Um,
Are you gonna?
and
Are
then
you waiting? Are you gonna name drop the name of the series here in just a second?
yes,
Oh, okay. I was like, why are you
yes.
ignoring me? Stop making that fucking coy face. Answer the question. I need to know. Okay.
I'm trying to work a
Yeah,
dramatic
yeah.
build up here. Oh God,
It would be
derail my
working if I wasn't just
freaking
stepping on all your.
showmanship.
Yeah. My bad. Go on. Continue.
You're good. So I remember then it was a little and more books came out, more books came out, more books came out, and then the author died
Oh no.
and had another author, another well-known author within the fantasy world, come in and finish the series with his notes.
Was that in the
Um,
will? Like, hey, here's the notes. Please finish what I started.
so like there are literally hard drives and stacks of books with the original author's notes for like these characters' developments and their end game personas, and how I want the series to finish. And the original author, I think, had gone through and written the last final climax of the series.
What a fucking honor
And
that would be for an author.
holy shit. Okay. So the series that I'm talking about, since I keep
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
sidetrack, I'm not going to get to my big dramatic reveal. But I'm talking about The Wheel of Time. Written by Robert Jordan, finished by Brandon Sanderson, with the editorial support of Jordan's widow, Harriet McDougal, um,
It's a cool
who,
name.
to the best,
The McDougs.
Hmm? The Doogs,
The
I like it.
Doogs.
So yeah, so Robert Jordan spent so much time writing the series, and I think it was originally supposed to be like 3 books. Since we're talking about love, I figure I'll bring the greatest and longest standing love of my entire life into the episode.
It's
Is
relevant.
the correlation here? Um, Torgoth says he couldn't get into that one. I will address that soon because that's
She gonna beat
not
your ass.
I'm gonna fly out there and I'm gonna um so yeah, I think he originally intended to write 3 books, and then he realized like every single one of these books that he ever wrote made the New York Times bestseller list
Jesus.
in its first edition. So I think he finally, yeah, okay, he wrote, yeah, you stopped in the slog and I don't blame you for that. Um
Chickens.
I
That's
mean,
fun.
honestly, lifting COVID restrictions would be a lot more helpful,
Yeah,
chicken,
that's
but
fair.
I'm working on it.
If we have the power to do anything, let's start there.
Yeah, let's all just act right so that we can get things to a point that we can freaking open up again.
Right, and if it wasn't clear from last week's episode where I stand on if you're not doing the stuff you're supposed to be doing in regards to the virus, stop being a fucking idiot. Do what you gotta
Yep.
do.
Get fucked, stay fucked. Yep.
Read the
Um.
fucking news.
Oh, chicken. But how it would drive me crazy to self-isolate knowing that you were a door away.
Yeah, but
Okay.
think of all the cute things you could do through the vents. Sliding notes under the
Oh my
doors.
goodness.
You all could learn Morse code and tap through the walls.
That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably drive Jody crazy. He'd probably kill me.
Uh,
Um.
TBD.
Okay. So, I am gonna focus on.
The
I'm gonna
Wheel
get
of Time.
my brain yes, focus on the Wheel of Time. So, um, long story short, too late. I spent a lot of time really emotionally involved in this series, and a few years ago, they finally made an announcement that a studio, I think Sony Pictures, had bought the rights to produce a television
Oh
series
shit.
based on the books. And so now Amazon Studios and Sony Pictures are actively filming the Wheel of Time television series adaptation. And I have the biggest mix of feelings
Okay.
because having been absolutely like this is the series that made me not finish Harry Potter. Um,
Shit.
I know. Unpopular fact about myself. I have never actually finished Harry Potter.
Eh.
So I was waiting for one of the books to come out, and I was talking to my parents about how like I wanted to read something. I wanted to get as engrossed in something as I had in Harry Potter, but the series isn't finished yet, and I really hate waiting for it. My dad was like, "Well, I've got this book you could read while you wait if you want." And I started reading the series, and then I even went to like the midnight release of I think it was the Half-Blood Prince? Yeah, I went to the midnight release of the Half-Blood Prince. I got the book, I got my hard copy, I was so excited, and I got back home and I sat down to read, and I reached over and I grabbed the Wheel of Time book that I was in the middle of, and I actually never finished Harry Potter.
Damn.
Um, so
At Half
this
Blood Prince
series
too, man. Damn. That's when that
I
shit
know.
ramps the fuck up. You're like, holy shit,
So
is this even the same series? Aren't they kids?
now that I've actually finished the Wheel of Time, I finally finished the last book. I think I'm gonna go back and reread Harry Potter from start to finish so I can get the whole experience, the whole journey.
Oh, smart.
And
You know,
then I'll
audiobook.
probably go
You could
watch the
do
movies.
audiobook. The voices in the audiobooks are fucking good.
Are they?
They're captivating. They do such a good job.
Ooh, I do love an audiobook.
Me too.
Um,
You don't have to read. You just stare at the ceiling and think. It's like hallucinating.
right. So yeah, and Torgoth, that actually that's a segue into so the way that I got or not Torgoth, but well, yes, Torgoth and Hero. Sorry. Torgoth and Hero. One of the things that I found really, really helped was when I got to those points in the books that like I didn't actually want to sit there and read. Having the audiobooks was a really big help. The voice actors that they have are pretty fantastic, and they do the entire series. And the audiobooks made it a lot easier to get through that slog that you kind of stopped in the middle of Hero. That I don't
Mm-hmm.
blame you for because I know exactly where you are in the plot, and it is exhausting. um, so yeah, audiobooks are a big help. But it's kind of that there's a lot of excitement and there's a lot of anticipation, but there's also a little bit of I'm not going to say fear, but maybe anxiety. That I think a lot of the Harry Potter world went through when they were making the film adaptations of those books.
Sure.
Because I've spent 15 years of my life having these concepts of who these characters are and where these places look like and what these things look like when they happen, and now there's a singular entity that's responsible for creating the visual representation of that thing that I love.
And that millions of
And
people love.
yeah, and there's a huge following. It's kind of one of those things that like when you're in the fandom, you're in the fandom.
Right.
um but it's kind of I know I've digressed for quite some time, but I think I'm in the same boat that you were in when you were talking about you know you think it's going to be okay because you've seen the conversations that people are having that are in charge of this project.
Mm-hmm.
um and it's really exciting to get leaks, and the Twitter community of everyone that's working on the show is all really active, and it's really cool to get updates from them, and it gives me a little more sense of, hey, it's going to be okay, like these people care, they're paying attention, they're also listening to what the fans have to say. So
Which makes a big
yeah,
difference.
it's
Yeah, the fans really do love the series like this too. Yeah, hence why they're fans, obviously, um, as shown. But yeah, no, that's a good point.
and in the next few years, once the show actually gets released, my apartment's just going to be covered in merch. So
Yeah, yeah, dude, I'm so pumped that they're making a Hawkeye show on Disney Plus, and I hope that it at least sort of takes off, especially like a little bit at least, like The Mandalorian did, and I'm not sure that it will because it's Hawkeye, but because then I could just fucking buy so much. Yeah, it's so hard to get Hawkeye merch right now. bro.
Mhm.
It's so
Yeah.
hard to get Hawkeye merch. And if the show does well, they're gonna have Hawkeye merch, and I'm just gonna fucking buy all of the Hawkeye merch. It's gonna be fucking awesome. But yeah,
I will be on the hunt for you as well.
thanks. Oh, I'll keep an eye out for Wheel of Time merch for you. But no, that's a really good example of how love can manifest in a lot of different areas of a person's life, specifically as it relates to the things that they love, the medias and the I want to say inspirations of the heart that they love. You know what makes you tick as a person. I guess to be cliche, that's a really good thing to focus on for folks too. So to kind of start to wind down and change subjects because I still want to talk about your
Yep.
creative endeavors. What would you say that a good baseline or a theory would be to walk away with today in regards to love? Love yourself, love the folks around you, and love the things that you do.
I think I think that's a good one. I think I always like to try to take an optimistic and also a realistic approach to things.
Okay.
I think a good takeaway is that love is complicated, and while a lot of times we use the word complicated in a negative connotation, I think it's in a positive connotation here. There are so many facets to it, and it's one of those not ambiguous, but kind of abstract concepts that, like, we all get to a certain point in life and we know that love is there. It's a universally agreed upon, like, hey, love is a thing. Um, and because it's so complicated and it's so abstract, that means that you have the ability. Perception is reality, and you have the ability to tailor the meaning and the benefits of love to your life. And with that benefit, you have a responsibility, if you care about the people around you, to pay
Fair.
attention to what love means to them. And I think the takeaway should be we should all be more willing to talk about love, and we should talk about love more because that deepens our understanding. It helps other people understand us more, and it normalizes the concept that, hey, you can actually love people. That's my takeaway from today.
Without like destroying who you are. I mean, one, we didn't really get a chance to go into the downsides of love, like how it hurts, right? But that's just I think maybe we'll have to do a love episode too, because I mean
Yeah,
this is a big fucking topic. It's not something that's going to be covered in
absolutely.
2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever, right? Like it's a big thing. Um, I wrote it first. Love is complicated as wonderful things can be. Um, but also it doesn't help with the like, hey, we should destigmatize it, right? Uh,
Absolutely.
but yeah, we'll maybe have to think about that and work on it. We can probably mull it over while we talk about your creative endeavors, the things that you want and
For sure.
pursue. I normally talk about this stuff at the beginning of a stream, but things flex and move, and um, this is
And
a
people's
good
alarms don't go off.
yeah, people's alarms don't go off. Well, but this is a good opportunity to show an example of adaptability, right, and overcoming obstacles. So with
Absolutely.
that in mind, tell us more about Bad Wolf Handmade. What is it? What do you do? What is
For
it?
sure. So I started, I think maybe about a month ago. So backstory, when I was younger, my mom and my godmother were really into doing beaded jewelry and stuff,
Link in chat.
and I used to go and hang out with them and you know kind of watch them, and I enjoyed going around to all the jewelry shows and all the boutiques and stuff with them. And I remember that there was just something really tactile about, all these strings of beads and being able to pick them up and hold them in your hands, and everything was really pretty and just walls and walls of all these colors. Um, and then I just used to sit there and hang out with them and watch them as they kind of put stuff together and made necklaces and bracelets and earrings and stuff like that. So I moved across the Pacific Ocean in the middle of a pandemic, which
Two.
was uh, a nightmare. I know
I bet. Good
plenty of
God.
folks that I talk to have heard me whine about that over the last probably 6 months.
As one should.
So,
Good God.
it was special. So I got settled in my new location, and I realized that, with the COVID restrictions and everything at work, I have a lot more free time to myself. So I was really it was an anticlimactic moment. I was walking around Michael's one day, and I was looking for something to do, and I walked past the beads section and kind of started having all those reminiscent feelings of like, oh
Mm,
wow, I really enjoyed kind of doing this and shopping around when I was younger. And I went over and I picked a couple of things off the wall and just kind of held them in my hands. And I was like, ah, I could probably make something with this. So I went out and I bought myself, some starter stuff, and I started throwing things together, and I was like, oh wow, this is really enjoyable. I get why, my family enjoyed doing this when I was younger, and I wish that I had caught on when I was younger. And I started making stuff and started posting pictures, and people gave me some positive feedback. So I am just at the point now where I am offering commissions and purchases of pieces that I've made. I have an Instagram and a Facebook, trying to build out an Etsy shop. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay with Etsy, but I'm just kind of putting feelers out that way. But I am always around to take a commission, and I really enjoy. I've done a couple of pieces for folks, and I really enjoy the whole process, the conversation of, hey, if you see something on my feed that you like, that you want me to try to recreate, or if there's something that you want to do a little bit differently. I had a piece up there. Actually the bracelet that I'm wearing is on my Facebook page, and that's how the cyberpunk collar came to be,
ah,
was because someone saw the bracelet and they said, hey, can you do a choker in that style but in the colors that they use in this game? So that was a really fun conversation to have, a really fun project to work on.
yeah.
Those are definitely the ones that I enjoy taking, because both of us, whoever I'm doing the commission for, and I both kind of get to sit down and have that creative exchange.
Sure.
And then it's just really satisfying to actually make these pieces. So yeah, I bought some of the stones and the beads and stuff, and then I went to one of the shops out here, and I saw that she had a bunch of the bead woven things.
Oh,
So not
cool.
just like, hey, put some stones and some beads and a pendant on a string,
Sure.
but actually, taking stuff and weaving them together. And I sat down and talked with her and bought myself a book and picked it up and started doing that. And so that's basically where I'm at right now, is just kind of trying to hone my craft a little bit. I'm making stuff and sharing it with friends, and I always appreciate the positive feedback that I get from them.
Well, and it's kind of skyrocketed from something you were, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but something you wanted to do to fill your time into something that you've leapt into, to say the
Hmm.
least, right? Like, I have your Instagram. I'm gonna pop it on stream here. I have your Instagram up, and like, this is like professional quality jewelry. You'd see this when you're out and about. People would, I would. This is like fashion relevant jewelry. And now, please take fashion relevant advice sparingly from a 30-year-old white dude, right? Like,
Right. I mean, as far as my fashion expertise goes, which is about that
right.
far.
Maybe
Right.
me complimenting you is probably not a good thing in regards to the aforementioned, but in my opinion, I think that like this is cool fucking shit. And for somebody who had just started a few weeks ago, like so clearly have you taken off in terms of not only passion and inspiration, but also in skill and what you're able to achieve. Like you just mentioned, you just talked to the lady about you just talked to the lady about interweaving beads and adding things to the and making pendants, and you know what I mean. Then you're
Hmm.
already applying that in like the pendants that you see on the Instagram. That's fucking crazy that how fast you took concept to application and how you kind of wove that into, pun intended,
Uh,
the passion that you've just acquired. That's fucking awesome. Let's check. Oh, I can't check your story unless I'm. Nice try. Nice try. Well, so to that effect, what are you hoping to achieve with this? What's the goal? What's the? Do you have a long term? Do you have a short term? What's the hopes here?
so
Tell me your
yeah,
dreams.
so for now, I'm still kind of feeling the situation out. Right now, my priorities are really in I guess just expression and something to do, something to keep me engaged and occupied. I've noticed that it's doing a lot of good for my mental health, having something to do with my hands and being able to have like a tangible result of my efforts. And it's really satisfying to learn more about different things that I can do and styles and work with patterns and materials. So for now, so for now that's where I'm at. Down the road, yeah, it's obviously really satisfying and really validating whenever anyone looks at something that you've made and says, "Hey, like this has value to me." It's a really it's a really uplifting and encouraging feeling whenever I do, especially when I get to do these commissions for folks. Um, or if I have a piece that I've made that someone says, "Wow, I would love to buy that." Because there's something really special about the feeling of, hey, not only does my stuff have value to me, but I to look at something that I made with my hands and my mind, and have someone say, "Wow, I really like that." I want to wear it out in the world so that people can see that because it speaks to me on some level. I think it kind of fills a little bit of that sense of connection that I think that we're missing right now with all of the distancing and the
Sure,
restrictions and everything that we
sure,
have right now. Uh, Down the road, it would be cool to actually kind of build a little bit of a business. It would be great to, be able to make things for people that find them valuable, and to be able to give them a little bit of joy through making either custom things for them or making something that they see on one of my pages and say, "Hey, I'd love to have that and wear that," and give them a chance to feel maybe a little bit more confident or empowered because of something that I made.
sure. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. One, it's really cool, and you kind of pointed on to it a little bit earlier, but it's pretty cool that a person's able to take something that you created, uh, and expression of your artistic creativity, and make that part of, I guess, their identity and who they are and how they want to represent themselves in the world. Like that's pretty neat that you're able to not only give yourself an outlet to express yourself, but also to give other people a way to express themselves too. That's pretty cool.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm really glad that I found it because it's been a really good endeavor. I feel kind of bad because I'm looking at my page on the stream, and yeah, I'm real happy with the stuff that's up there. I have a lot of projects that are in the works. Um, I Stuff that I haven't quite finished yet. The little stars that I started making. I think I'm gonna try to do like an actual terrarium of these. So I want
Sure.
to
Let me
take
let
like
me full
a
screen real quick. Hold up. Let's see. Holy shit! Look at that motherfucker. That's cool.
yeah. So Um, yeah, the stars were really, really cool. They get really tedious, but it's really fun seeing them come together. So I'm working on like a little terrarium project with these. I think I'm gonna find a terrarium and try to find a way to get some of the little fairy lights in these and get a nice little setting.
Yeah.
Um, and do some different colors. Like I'm trying to do a fire themed one. I think I'm gonna work on a water themed one sometime in the near future here.
You're
Uh,
blowing chat up, by the way. People are loving this. Chicken
Thank you
asks, do
guys.
you
I
think
really
you could
appreciate the
make a
feedback.
Mario star? Do you think you could do like a Mario star?
Oh, as an ornament? I would love that.
Write it
I'm
down.
gonna
Write it
write it
down.
down. It's going in the idea book.
Write it. That's a cool idea book. Yeah, no, that's
I love
fucking
that
neat,
chicken.
dude. That's fucking cool. That would be dope. A fucking Mario Star ornament. Or freaking tree topper. A tree topper, that'd be dope too. Like you get one of those Pizza Hut pizza holder together things and like shape it into a cone and just hot glue that shit to the bottom. Pizza topper.
I could probably even make that star into, or to have a little cone, because one of the cool things about the weaving process itself is you can basically build it into whatever you want to build it
Mm-hmm.
into.
Yeah. Well,
Um
rad ass on in chat. Are you on YouTube? Do you do any tutorials or anything?
uh I could I've played around with the idea of doing like YouTube or TikTok or something like that. I need to come up with a better um filming setup if I do that. It's
Sure.
it's an idea that I have in the works, and if I can figure out a way to make it work, I will definitely start doing it. Um,
That'd be cool.
yeah, but so working on it. One other, I appreciate that you brought up the little pendants that I did, because I'm working on
God, that's
figuring
fucking
out
cool,
what is
dude.
going to happen with one of those two pendants. I've got it on a chain, and I've got a couple of little accents in there. So that's another one that I'm working on that I'm kind of excited to see how that one comes together.
Yeah, I think that's fucking cool. Chicken Assistant Chat, go ahead and PM her. Y'all make that work.
Yep, I see her. I see her.
Make that
Okay,
thing.
yeah, chicken. I will get with you offline very shortly.
Rad says a
I could
mushroom or
probably.
a 1-up would be cool, or like a red mushroom.
I will look into those because that's
You
that's
just
that's actually really a good
Mario
idea with
shit,
the
nerd
medium too.
shit.
Is
Yeah.
I'll kind of.
You make
Yeah,
like a TARDIS. You just hit all the fandoms, bro. Well, that's cool. That's another way to mix. Well, and coming back to love, that's another way to mix two things that you love, or three or four. Make some Wheel of Time bead
absolutely.
things, and you're set for life, homie.
Oh,
You're like,
oh,
I can't
what do
wait
I
to
need to
have
look like?
Wheel. I can't wait to have Wheel of Time merch. Jokes on you. You are the Wheel of Time merch.
That would be amazing.
Wah, wah,
Actually,
wah.
that is one of the things I'm waiting for them to release official graphics for a lot of these things that are like iconic within the show, so I can start making them.
Pokeballs.
Pokeballs. Okay. So I do see that there are a lot of like you can take the little seed beads and make them into like balls. So I think that
Balls.
I could probably figure out how to make a beaded Pokeball. I'll look into it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Chicken, as far
Yeah, we are
as what
nerds.
I need to make my tutorial setup, I need it's stuff that like I need a better camera.
Tripod.
Um, yeah, so I have a GoPro
Will you have a
that I
GoPro?
might be able
Nice.
to work with.
I was thinking
Yeah, I
about
bought
putting
it
a
to
GoPro. But you bought it to go ahead.
I bought it to go like take it snorkeling with me when I still lived in Hawaii.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So I honestly, what I would need to start a YouTube channel, I would need to be able to get like a basic streaming setup, like
Yeah.
a microphone and a camera. So it's stuff that I'm saving up for.
I would say entry fee. I would say save yourself, as somebody who has spent money on an intro streaming setup. I'd say like $200 to $300, and you like have like professional quality, ready to go equipment. You can probably
Okay.
find lower budget stuff, like a lower budget webcam. I know this is unsolicited, so stop me if you don't give a fuck. But like they make like nice USB microphones, 40 or 50 bucks, $75, and like decently relevant 12 10 12 megapixel cameras for like I don't know, 75 $100. So, and like between those
That's
two,
nothing reasonable.
yeah. Well, I was talking to Chad earlier about how I should buy a tripod for the cooking stream, but like for the most part, I mean, if you buy those two things, everything else you can just kind of ingenuity together, right? Duct tape a bunch of books together and like hold your camera, or like, I don't know, get one of those. Oh, here you go. You can get one of those flashlights that we take to all of the LARP events that we go to, and just
Yep.
detach it and like detach your fucking webcam there and like run it back behind you. Then you'll have like a webcam on your head to see what you're looking at. Like,
There we
um,
go.
yeah, yeah.
I think I do actually have a head mount for the GoPro.
Well, there you go. Problem fucking solved. They already make what I was talking about. So problem, because you said you were gonna use it for snorkeling and shit. So
Yep.
well,
Yep.
cool. That's pretty awesome
Um,
though. That already in just a short amount of time we've been talking about it. That other stuff has come up, and like it's just an immediate testament to immediate testament. Yeah, that's hard to say, by the way. To the creativity and quickness and what you kind of implement new ideas, and like that's gonna be cool. I'm sure a lot of us are really excited to see if you venture into the nerd space with the beads, because like I already, and I feel like I can speak for more than a few people when I say I already love what you're doing. Like it's fucking cool. It's gonna be cool to see that emboldened by your other passions.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and this right here is actually what I like about the whole process is I want to hear what people want to see. So yeah, I definitely appreciate having the great ideas to go with, and I've already got some stuff cooking around in my brain here. So
And you're clearly
yeah,
writing it down. That's what's important. If I had $1 for every great idea I had that I didn't write down, thinking arrogantly, I'll remember that tomorrow, I'd be a rich fucking man. I wouldn't need good ideas.
I feel that. Yeah, I'd probably be independently wealthy by now if I
Yeah. On
did
just
that.
ideas missed. Yeah.
Yep. Um, yeah, I mean, I can show you a couple other things that
Yes,
I'm
please
working
do.
on.
Yeah.
If you want, I got so I started playing around with doing kind of an argyle pattern.
Wow, look at that fucking
Uh,
thing. I like how it like gradients. That's fucking cool.
Thank you. Yeah, that was kind of fun to figure out. So I am probably gonna finish this out. I don't know if this one's gonna stay as a bracelet or if it's gonna get turned into a necklace.
Okay.
So working on that one right now, and
Bookmarks. These would make good bookmarks too.
yeah, yeah, no, I mean, they're a little thick, so they end up being
I mean, I'm a little
probably about
thick. It
a.
works out okay.
All right, all right.
Ah,
This is the one that I started working on last
look at
night. I'm
that
kind of excited
motherfucker.
about
That is
this.
cool.
Yeah, and it is. It's just it's really satisfying because what it starts out as is little tubes of glass
Oh shit, look
beads,
at that.
and they're all very small.
Do you
They're
make
much more expensive than I expected them to be.
do you make messes with those motherfuckers at all? Do you like drop a tube while it's open and they go everywhere and then you're like, oh fuck shit, god damn it.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. I dropped one off the outside of my desk, and I
Ouch.
was down on the floor with my um, I have my reading glasses. These are 1.5s, and I was down there with the glasses on, and I had like a couple of different light sources trying to catch the glint off of one or two of those beads, trying to dig them out of the carpet.
Wow.
So that's
Dude,
happened
can
a
you
couple of
imagine?
times.
Well, and it's like, and you just finished saying, like, these are fucking expensive. It's not like you can be like, oh, time to go get the Hoover and go back to Michael's. You know what I mean? It's, yeah, fucking, can you
Right.
imagine? Damn, that must have been so fucking tedious. Hey, Sai popped in chat, even dropped a sub, has been subbed for a very long time, and says, holy hell, it's Jess.
Hey, hi, Sai. It's so good to see from you, not see you, but
See from you, yeah, the good way to word it. Thanks for the sub, dude. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And that's a huge ass
yay.
fucking streak. Holy shit, man. That's almost 2 fucking years.
That's
42
awesome,
months.
Sai.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it. And Bruff cheered a bit, said hi. Thanks for the bit, Bruff. I love the heart bit. I was
Yay.
happy you were still online. Yeah, I'm thinking about changing it from 11 to 1. Well, like I said, the whole point is to get me out of bed on a Sunday, but I feel like if I'm up by 11, that's still pretty early.
Well, and you can leave yourself a little bit more. 42 months is more than 2 years, Torgoth
20.
says.
I thought it was, oh, you're right. I was thinking it was 24 cuz hours. Thanks Torgoth for keeping me honest.
Maybe Rad, a dustbuster, or I think I've seen videos of like you can put pantyhose over a vacuum tube
Oh
and pick stuff
shit.
up.
So not only are you
Oh,
learning about beating, but you're learning about cleaning up after your messes while you're beating. That's pretty cool. Is that
exactly.
the
And
right
and
verb?
chicken posted it in the chat just as that brain cell fired off, so she and I were on the same wavelength there.
Nice. Great minds. Great minds.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, it's fun. I have a couple. I wanted to share my humility piece over
Look at
here.
that. Holy shit. Well, so tell us more about your humility piece and why it makes you giggle.
So this is like the very first thing I ever tried to weave. So this was the product of me kind of sitting down, and I had one color of thread. As you can see, the most of the beads on here are very light colored.
Yeah.
So the one color of thread I had was very dark.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever I made mistakes, or this was the first time I learned to tie off string and add new string, um, which I did absolutely wrong. So you have this huge mess of just black jumble over here. Um, I ended up figuring it out later down the piece, and then I the other thing was me trying to do just a woven in kind of addition to the length,
Yeah.
and obviously we see that did not turn out beautifully.
Sure.
Um, and then yeah, I had originally added this as the closure for the clasp, and I realized that it was really really hard to actually clasp that around a wrist, so I ended up adding an O-ring to it.
Okay.
So, but I had tied it in, and I didn't have any way to
Oh,
get
yeah,
it
you can
off.
see it. That's
So
hilarious.
yeah,
Bruff
so
just cheered 100 bits in chat. Thanks, Bruff.
oh my
Love you,
gosh,
buddy. Sai has a wolf emote. Check that shit out in chat. Can you see it? It might be a little tiny on your phone, but it's a get.
it's beautiful. I
That's
love it.
cool. Yeah.
Those are amazing.
But yeah, that's
Um,
hilarious that you like. It's now I see why you call it your humility piece. That's
yep.
so. Is it like a constant reminder of like how far you've come and like how you've learned so much in such a short amount of time?
It's a little it's one of those, yeah, kind of like that, like a touchstone to look back and be like, wow, hey, even if I'm not feeling great about myself today, at least I'm not making stuff like this. And the other thing is it's a nice reminder of, remember that there's always something to learn, even if
Hmm.
you think that you've mastered something. The humility bracelets. Are you talking about the humility piece above Bo's head, Torgoth?
Are you talking? Wait, what's about? Are you talking about my
D-
bald?
Torg- no, he's talking about hi Nani, I love
Holy
you.
shit, Bruff just gifted out fucking 5 subs. Just
Wow,
holy shit, man. Thank you, Bruff. You're just fucking
rough.
dropping it like it's hot today. And what?
You're
Jenna's
a
here
rock
too.
star, bro.
Jenna says hi.
Yay! Hi, Jen. It's so good to again hear from you at least, if not see your face.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and I think
Holy
this kind of
shit.
ties back to what we were talking about earlier with love and not being afraid to let yourself be humanized for the sake of doing something that you love. As I enjoy having a reminder around that even once you think that you may have mastered something, you know, remember that there were times where you still had so much more to learn, and remember that the ability to learn more is always there, I
Right. Well
guess.
said. Well said. So
Yeah.
so can we add to our, I guess, takeaway of this? Love also is what's I want to say ever growing, but that feels a little cheesy and not doesn't roll off the tongue. You know, is there a smart, dignified way to say constantly growing, scalable,
Um, mutable.
mutable?
Yeah, maybe.
Like my keyboard is mutable.
No, like mutable, like from the same word root as a mutation. It's changeable.
Uh,
It's constantly evolving.
Torgoth
It's
says
expanding.
expanding. I like
Yeah,
expanding.
expanding's pretty good, Torgoth.
Okay. Yeah, I think we might have to have a episode 2 and figure out what the
Yeah.
takeaway is.
Ooh,
Emergent.
emergent chicken. That's a good
Ooh,
one.
that's a
Emergent's
good
good.
one. It's dramatic. It's perfect.
Ooh,
Emergent.
I got it.
Hit me.
Mercurial.
Oh fuck, bro. Are you serious? Okay. Mercurial.
Mercurial.
Mercurial. Define
Mercurial, like
mercurial. Fuck. Okay, I gotta sneeze so bad.
just mute yourself and send it, man.
Never mind, it was a yawn. Too late.
Oh,
A subject to sudden or unpredictable changes in mood of mind. I couldn't think of a better word. Oh, emergent's so good too. Well, maybe they must be here, Jen. It only goes to folks who are in
are
chat
in the stream.
or have been in chat in the last hour, I think. So thanks to your friends from other streams for stopping by. That's pretty cool. Malleable,
That's
that's a good
dope.
one. I like malleable, but like nothing is dethroning mercurial so far. Mercurial is it's up there, right? Like that's mercurial is okay. Well, love is mercurial, and I wanna word it differently because I don't want to get confused with the love is kind.
Right? Not get into what is it? Philippians.
Oh yeah, no, get into the fallopians, which is a different kind of love.
Don't go into the Philippians.
Yeah,
No.
I've well that's a the I should do an episode. You know what, maybe I will do a whole ass episode on like kinks and like upsides and downsides to all that shit. Um
That's right. And Chicken says, "Wrap your shit."
Rap your shit. Unique is not here anymore. Or maybe he is. I'm not sure. I don't have the viewer list in front of me, but Unique would be a perfect guest to interview for that. She's got a degree in it, so
It's awesome.
that'd be cool. We're glad
Yeah,
to
that would
help.
that would be a fun episode.
Yeah, bruv. Well, it means a lot that you're dropping all this love in here. I love it. I love it. Well, and things are ramping up in terms of crowd tune. Maybe the 11 to 1 is a better idea to give people time to wake the fuck up too. Because I don't know about you. I mean, I do know about you after today, but like I have a harder time waking up sometimes. Like this morning, I did not want to get up. I definitely snoozed my 7 o'clock alarm. I said, "Fuck that." I don't need 2 hours to prepare for this stream. I did that all last night before I went to bed. And like eight
It'll be
o'clock, and
fine.
I was like, "Fuck, do I still want to make my breakfast?" I wanted to make pancakes, and I was like, "Well, you don't have the time to make pancakes, you dolt. So, guess it's eggs."
I had all these grand plans. I was gonna, do my hair and do my makeup, and I was actually gonna make a cup of tea, and I was gonna be like, "Look, I'm having tea with you for Sunday morning
While
tea."
we
And
spill tea,
then
I have the tea. Yeah.
yeah, and then I woke up 50 minutes late and panicking and feeling like, and maybe this is opportune timing because I really appreciate you showing me the love and understanding of being, well, I guess understanding, to repeat myself, of what happened and just not making a big deal about it and being like, "Hey, man, like, come on, let's just go ahead and pick up the conversation." That I think that is a perfect example of what we're talking about, where you can have love for a person and it allows you to be flexible and resilient and just kind of go with the flow. And I really appreciate you being so cool about my stuff going wrong, and it makes me
Sure.
feel loved and appreciated.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. One, to use yet again another overused human colloquialism, and we know you're not a fan of those. To err is human. And like Jenna said in chat, the occasional mistake is not the end of the world, and it's not like I I realize what a big ask it is to ask people to come on the show, especially if I'm asking people to come on the show at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. The original intent was to get me, like I said, out of bed and to socialize with my friends, but like that's part of why I just wanted to rush to doing this and get it down and get it recording and start pulling my friends in, because then we get to learn things like, hey, maybe and this is a good time to shout out your mental agility and adaptability, like we talked about earlier, when you're loving what you do and you love your profession. But it also applies to other parts of life, like if you mess up somewhere else, or you do something that you outside of what you originally planned, how you can adapt to either do the thing or do something else that you would do with the time, or whatever the case may be. Just adapt. So, and I don't know about you, but I've had a fantastic time. I think it's been a great conversation.
I have too.
And it's been, as it often does, 2 hours, 2.5 hours has flown by. It's gone very quickly. We're already kind of at a stopping point. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, like so even though it didn't start off the way that you or I had originally planned, it still ended up going great. And um, I'm glad that you felt that way. And I agree that it does. It talks a lot about love amongst friends and family members. And yeah, it's a
Mhm.
big fucking deal. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Let's catch up on chat a little bit. The time, yeah. So
That-
Chicken said the time with you was more important than the time we waited. Agreed. And yeah, it's 11 where you live right now, right? You're an hour. You're on
yes.
the
Yep.
Western time
Yeah,
zone or
I
whatever.
am back on the mainland. I am no longer in Hawaii.
Woo, West
Yeah.
Coast. What is it? Also the middle of the United States. Like, isn't like Idaho on Western or Pacific Standard Time? Pacific Daylight Time? Is it Pacific Daylight Time? Ah, who fucking knows?
Well, I mean, Nani, if you guys let me know when you're going again, I am just on this side of the Pacific Ocean, so I might be
Maybe.
able to join you guys
Yeah.
and kind of show you some of my favorite spots.
Maybe we can fly to Seattle and all fly out together. That'd be fun.
Oh my God, that would be amazing!
The it's supposed to be August, I think, August-ish of 2021. A lot, assuming that things are able to happen by then. Based on what I'm seeing
Okay.
in the world now, probably more like spring
Oh, Chicken's
2022.
in too.
Yeah,
Chicken's coming to
invite
Hawaii
yourself.
with us.
Well, so here's the thing. It's a stream thing, right? Like X-Ray Blacksmith had the idea with his community, and I kind of asked to tack on. So we're doing like a stream thing where we're going to Hawaii for he's going for 2 weeks. I haven't decided if I want to go for 2 weeks. But we're gonna say, hey, stream, we're gonna be in Hawaii at these places for these 2 weeks. If you want to come hang out, come say hi. We're gonna go surfing on this day. We're gonna go to luau on this day. We're gonna be here at these times. Come hang out. So, Chicken, this is 100% an open invite thing. Please come. Bring your who's booned. Bring anybody you want to bring. Everybody else who's in chat is welcome. Come to Hawaii. That would be great. Um, it would be lovely.
Yes, Torgoth.
I dropped you an Instagram link there, bruv, where you can find information that you need to find. Torgoth, yes, of
Naney,
course. Please come.
I will take you to 3 tables and show you where the turtles hang out. All the videos that I sent you of all the turtles out there were up there at 3 tables.
Hell yeah. Sai says if you win the lotto, well, you have time to play the lotto and win, and you can join us in Hawaii. That would be awesome. You know what? Fuck it. Why don't we just three-peat this motherfucker and also make it a wolf retreat and wolf and fowl retreat? We'll
I'm telling you,
thing.
man, Wolf Retreat Hawaii. Come on.
We can do both. We can do both. We can do like a
Yes,
wolf retreat
absolutely.
later in the year. If I heard fall in Hawaii was pretty cool.
Fall and winter are really rainy, but probably decent. Like you can still get to the beach. The rain in Hawaii is really just like inconsequential.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would be cool to see some. Well, we saw a big ass turtle when we were on a catamaran. That thing was fucking huge. It's like the size of a Volkswagen, dude. I was like, holy fuck! Like I know that they're big. I'm probably
Amazing.
exaggerating just a little bit, but it felt that big. And like I know that they're big, and we're watching documentaries or whatever you see about sea turtles. Media wise, you're like, wow, that must be a big animal. And I saw that motherfucker in person. I was like, what the fuck?
Wow. Well, I remember the first time I saw there was one again at 3 tables. There was, I think there were about 4 of us. We were all kind of paddling out, and there's a little jetty that kind of comes out, and then so it's called 3 tables because there's 3 columns of coral that kind of come up, and they're big and round, and they look like 3 tables when the tide is out. So we were there's a jetty next to one of those tables, and we were kind of swimming along past it. And that was the first time that I really wish I had a dive knife, because we were far enough out there. I was like, this is good predator reef. So I was trying to be vigilant.
I didn't even think about that snorkelers and people who spend time in the ocean, because the people spend so much time telling us that we don't got to worry about sharks mainly, right? And when people think of ocean reef predators, I don't know about y'all, but the first thing my mind went to was sharks. And I know that there's a variety of other predators, but like I think that's not okay. Sorry, go on.
No, you're good.
Wish you had a dive knife.
That was probably the biggest turtle I've ever seen in person, and it was at least as big. It was probably size and a half of my torso.
Jesus.
And it was gorgeous. And I feel really bad because the video that I took of it doesn't capture the size of it. But you're right, that whole, you see these things, you're like, wow, those must be big. And then I saw this turtle, I was like, this thing is massive, and it was just amazing, and it was just flapping its way through the water, just doing its thing.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah,
that's
it was
cool.
Glorious.
Chicken says eels scare me too. Eels are fucking weird, dude. Hey, what did they call?
Eels are pretty aggressive. There's a couple of carnivorous fish that you find out in the reefs there that are a little aggressive. But so
what did they call electric eels before electricity was invented?
Ouch noodles.
Ouch. Dang, that's ouch noodles. Somebody said thunder snakes
Hero.
In the chat that I read that in.
Thunder snakes, I love that. Okay, so Hero says, sharks scare the living poo out of me. A few times I've been to Hawaii, I haven't seen a turtle. Hero, what islands were you on?
Death, that's what they called the turtles. That's funny.
Yes.
I wish my asthma would let me snorkel. I'll wait on the land. Well, the way that technology is going, maybe, especially if Elon Musk finishes Starlink, maybe we can take our waterproof iPhones down there and just stream it for you. Show you what the turtles look like. That'd be cool. Angry catfish.
So Hero, I love angry catfish. Snap, snap, ouch, ouch. Hero, I'm not sure about Kauai and Maui. The majority of the turtles that I've seen have been on Oahu. I didn't even see a whole lot of them. I saw some of them on Big Island.
Big Island is
I
Maui?
know that depending on the seasons, like whenever their breeding seasons and summer and winter, and depending on where the sharks are, because the sharks come in closer during their hunting seasons and their breeding seasons, and that all kind of determines where the turtles and the seals actually end up. I've heard you've been to all the islands I haven't been to. Hero.
That's funny.
Um, so usually if you got the turtles love to hang out where there's algae. So if you can find a beach that's like a lot of lava rock, I think Kauai and Lanai are a lot more sand and cliffs. So there may not have been a whole lot of good turtle spots out there. But if you ever get a chance to go to Oahu, up on the North Shore, any of those the lava beaches are the lava and the coral beaches are really good places to find them.
Good to know. That's going to be
Oh,
helpful information.
hammerhead
Helpful
sharks breeding
information.
off the coast. Yeah. So from what I understand, I have a lot of friends that were really into free diving and scuba diving out there, and the sharks aren't. In general, sharks aren't as aggressive as Hollywood makes them out to be.
Right.
Um, Obviously there's certain times like if it's breeding season or hunting season and someone's hungry or territorial, yeah, there's a greater potential for you to find yourself in a situation with a shark that you're not going to enjoy. But like one of my buddies on Instagram has all these videos of there's a black tipped or yeah, an ocean black tip that he's actually friends with. Like this shark is intelligent enough, it recognizes him. And there was one day the black tip was swimming by and it had a hook caught in its gills, and he actually ended up being able to get the hook out of the shark. And the
Jesus.
shark, like, this dude's a Disney princess now because the shark is like his best fucking friend.
Yeah, well, and nobody recognizes the power that Disney princesses have when they're like, well, they're friends with all the animals. Some animals are fucking terrifying.
That's true, and they are terrifying. Like, I am still afraid of sharks. I do not blame you at all, Hero.
That'd be fucking scary, man. That's cool though. Like, what an experience to have. And just to kind of loosely relate it, we were talking about and what we can talk about on Love episode 2 is like love for animals and nature and the world
That would be a
around
fun one to
us.
talk about too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just such a big subject. Foolish me to think that we could cover it all in 2 and counting hours. Silly
that's
fool.
okay.
Silly
I think
fool.
it would be a good running segment because the nature of love is so. Ooh, yeah, and chicken. That's
That'd be
another
a
one.
good
When
one.
Bo was bringing up the downsides of love, that was one of the things that popped off in my head, is talking about when love gets to that unhealthy, that obsessive point, or my personal history of codependence when I was younger. I think that would be another good one to bring to that kind of downsides of love uh, discussion.
That's a good idea. Well, I mean, clearly we're gonna have to do an episode 2. Do you want to go on record? Do you want to save your slot for Love episode 2?
Lock me in.
All right.
I'm all here for this conversation.
You're gonna buy like a new alarm clock for that episode, right? That's
I think actually the next thing on my list of to do today is I'm gonna go to Home Goods and get myself an alarm clock
like a
because
like a battery one, just in case. That's funny.
yeah, I'm gonna be in
I'm
class all week next week and I can't not be there on time.
That's funny. Well, and I think that that's a good opportunity. And I get that this seems like a joke made at your expense, but I have the context and the history of our friendship to know that like that's just the way we operate, right? It's a
Absolutely,
good way to demonstrate the mental agility of making jokes out of the things that we beat ourselves up for very shortly before.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and that's I think that's a good spot to wrap it up too, because like we could go on for hours, and we got to save some stuff
Right,
for episode 2. But I think the main
absolutely.
takeaway of today is going to be love's complicated, and love is mercurial, but give yourself time to grow.
I like it. I
How's
love
that?
it.
All right. I know that we did the love is thing again, but I mean, in some cases, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. And
Right.
because we're doing, go ahead.
Some tropes are tropes for a reason.
Exactly, exactly. One, because we're doing an episode 2, we can edit that as needed. If anything, that can be the whole point of this episode 2. Help us find a less cliche takeaway. What is
I
love,
love it.
baby?
Hero, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me no
Oh my
more.
god, I wish that I'd come more prepared for this, because that would have been a perfect outro song. I guess it still can be. What is love? Although I'll get DMCA'd, which is next week's episode. For those of you,
Oh,
yeah. I'm going to tell you a little bit about next week's episode. You want to hear about it?
next week on Sunday Morning Tea with Bo and the Archers.
Next Sunday, we're going to talk about the DMCA situation on Twitch and copyright and fair use. It's going to be fun stuff. although it does sound a little bland when I talk about it like that. So come back and watch how we make that fun. It's going to be good times. I don't know who the guest is going to be yet because I haven't figured that out. But, keep your eye on things. We'll get that information as it gets closer.
Come back to watch Bo spill the tea.
About DMCA and archery. Oh, how those things are weirdly, really related. You'd never know. But yeah, I totally get a DMCA takedown for stuff that you never thought you'd get DMCA'd for. Or like, I was, we were talking about it a little bit before, but like I'm seeing a lot of folks who, like you, are taking up some passions with a little bit of the extra time that they have. But like I see a variety of people who are like blatantly violating copyright laws and trademark laws.
Unintentionally or intentionally.
Right. You're like, I'm not really sure that that's something that you should do.
Right. That's I'm going to do a little bit of research into the whole Mario idea before I actually start making stuff.
That's a good idea. I think as far as, because I've done a little bit of research for the episode, next week's episode, I think that, and please do your own research because I'm fallible. What? But as long as I think if it's a singular person commissioning a singular item out of you, and that's not for resale, I think it'll be fine. I think as long as you're not like building a bunch of items off of another brand like Mario, for example, and then reselling it on like Amazon or even Etsy, then I think that I think you'd be all right. I think Don't Spill the Tea needs to be a segment. I think that would be fun. What would be is it things that we shouldn't spill the tea about? Don't spill the tea. Are you thinking that maybe it's we talk while I balance a cup of tea in my hand and try not to spill it? And my floor would tell you that I'm not very good at that game. Just ahead of time.
I like that idea.
That'd be fun. Don't spill the tea. I wonder what would we? I wonder if it's just like things we don't talk about. Oh, well, that would be fun to, and that could be a whole other episode of things that humans should talk about that we don't talk about. And we kind of briefly touched on that earlier in terms of talking about our mistakes. But all right, well, cool. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Jess, thank you for your time. Thank you for popping onto the show and going a little late with me. That was fun. I'm really, really proud of you. I know this is going to sound a little weird, but I'm proud of you for the art that you're creating and the things that you're putting out into the world and how much hard work you're putting into it. It's really inspiring to see how fast you're growing with that. It's pretty fucking awesome. I also wanted to drop a big thank you for everybody who's in chat. Sai, Rad, Jenna, Chicken, Torgoth, everybody who was here. Y'all are a big part of why this is so much fun and why it's easy to get up. Bruff, come in, drop some fat gifts, some fat words of affirmation, some fat expressions.
Bruff's in the giving spirit, man.
Bruff's in the giving spirit. Like y'all make this really, really fun. It's of course always lovely to have conversations with our guests, but everyone who was here on time, oof. Now we really need a soundboard so we can. Fair. That's the third time that we would have loved a badum-tis sound. We need to get a stream deck. I need to seriously consider that. And Sai says he loves us and he misses us all so damn much. We miss you too, buddy. We love you too. We're happy to see you. And y'all, I probably will change the show to 11 to 1. I'm gonna think about it a little bit more, but like I feel like I'm waking up a little bit more. I feel like you know what I mean, like.
Feel a little more human.
Yeah, we'll think about it. Love you too, Iron Fletcher. Good to see you, bud. Torgas says he loves you, so I assume that means he doesn't love me.
Suck it, Bo.
That's okay. I feel like if that's the extent of our love is the end here, I feel like I've gotten a really nice, healthy dose of Torgas love, and you can take that however you want to take that.
Hey.
Love you too, bro.
No, I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you to not only you, but everyone in the stream for being patient with my my issues this morning, and I will have them sorted by the next time I am slotted to do this again.
Whatever, you're not accountable to us, bro. You're a grown-ass adult.
I love you. I love everyone. Really enjoyed this conversation, and yeah, thank you for taking some time to let me be a part of your lives this morning.
Of course. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hang up the call and do a little bit of outro here. I hope you have a good rest of the day. I'll chat with you a little bit later if you want.
Sounds good. Stay frosty.
You too. Bye. All right. Well, everybody, that is going to be it for today's show. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sticking around. I know we went an hour and changed later. Like we talked about, that's going to happen sometimes. Even if we do move the show to a later time slot in the day, which I'm probably going to do, it's going to go over sometimes. Me and my friends can be some chatty motherfuckers sometimes. Me, myself, I can be a chatty motherfucker sometimes. That's just the way it goes. But thank you so much for being here. Bruff, again, thank you for all the love. Torgoth, Sai, Iron, Chicken, Rad, y'all are the best. Bruff dropping just a little bit more love before he goes. I appreciate it, buddy. Love you. I hope that you'll have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. Because I know most of you outside of the show, I'm sure we'll talk more throughout the day. It was great seeing you, and I love you. Goodbye. Now we have to count to 5 before we press the exit button, and it's going to cut out in